Super duper.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Gaming After Dark podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Noof Nukem. I'm in the room, and before I get to my esteemed panel, I do want to let everybody know that, Mr. Titan Trago can't be with us tonight. He had some personal issues come up and just can't make the show. Speaking of showing or non-showing, we are still always waiting on the one, the only, the amazing Triple Cup Chuck. Hopefully he didn't pass out and go to sleep. He's been sent the invitation, and I don't know where he is. But when I found out Titan couldn't make it, I decided to ask my good Canadian brother, Mr. Squirrely Dan, to show up. I'll do the formal introduction in a second, but first of all, let's catch up with my other co-host, the always amazing middle-aged game guy.
Well, good evening, Noof. Good evening, Squirrely Dan. It's the Canuck Connection tonight, so I'm super excited to be here. Chat, glad to see you here. And holy shit, Triple Cup Chuck just walked right into the room at the buzzer beater. Let's get it going tonight, boys. We got some great topics. Let's have a great show.
Oh, you know it's going to be good when you got three Canucks and a guy named Chuck, Triple Cup Chuck. Let's get over to our esteemed guest this evening, Triple Cup, baby. Welcome to your first appearance on Gaming After Dark. It's been long overdue. Welcome, my friend.
Man, what's good with it? No, hey, check this out. Man, I got my PC. It was doing a reload, so I was trying to hop in. So I said, man, I can't be late. Let me hop in on my phone, and soon my PC upload. So everybody that's watching, man, I apologize for my voice if I'm a little low or a little distorted. But man, Noof, appreciate you for having me out here, man. Like you said, long time overdue for us to have some up stuff going on, man, especially with some amazing gaming news that's got going on in the industry right now.
Heck yeah. Well, we're excited to have you here, man, because I know every time I've seen you on a podcast, you always bring energy, a lot of charisma, and that's exactly the kind of shit that we bring on Gaming After Dark. And bringing down the house is my other Canuck brother from way up north, Mrs. Squirrely Dan. He is legitimately the most beefed up squirrel you'll ever see. What's happening, Squirrely?
Not much, Noof. Was glad to get your invite for the podcast. It was fun the first time around, and I'm sure we'll have a good time tonight.
That's right. Sloppy seconds for you, baby. Let's roll.
Oh, buddy. It's just the way I like it, dripping.
Before we get
I know it's gonna be something tonight.
Oh, it's going to be something tonight. I hope you brought a rag for your face or whatever else. I might get a little watery up in here. Let's catch up with the chat here, guys, before we get into the topics. Let's give a big shout out to the guys who make this podcast click each and every week. We got the always amazing Timothy Dixon. Raven Arrow is hanging out. Joe Dunmore is here. We got Juno's 23, Anime Heaven X23. We have also got Prophet is in the house. Doggy Dog in the house. We got Captain Crunch in the house. Man, we got a Dreadpool is here. Yeah, baby. Now it's getting real. We got Dr. Dinglenut, one of the best names going. Night 13186. Spider-Man 356 is here. Yeah, Darko's Dreamers, Marlesco, Free Jack in the house, another Canadian brother. Custod's X, Shizno Elite. Damn, boys. Looking good up in here. We got the sexy bunch in here. What's going on, guys? Hope you're doing well. Let's get right in. Like I said, Titan can't make it tonight, but it's still going to be a dynamite show. Let's start out with our amazing guest first, Mr. Triple Cup Chuck. I guess it's been a long time, brother, since I had a chat with you. What the fuck have you been up to?
Man, I've been on I'm staying in my own lane because I've been seeing in the gaming industry, they've been having a lot of people with a lot of debacle stuff that really don't make no sense. They kind of had me to sit back and just take things from a different perspective. I had to come out of the VIP and hop in the crowd with the real gamers that was really gaming and start taking things from a different perspective of how the gamers game. Mm-hmm. Now I got a more, because I was solely Xbox central out. Now it's more like, okay, what's better for the actual gamers than the gamers that's doing gaming things? So for me now, it's more about having an open perspective.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Perspectives are good, and having a variety of game experiences is even better. So I'm glad to hear you're doing well and that you are enjoying gaming wherever that may be. Obviously, it sounds like you've been dipping into the PC pool, so that's good.
Yeah, most of my thing is right now is should I mean, I know I ain't better purchase the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation because I was going to go PlayStation 5 first. But, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody got their own opinion about it, but I want to go on PS5 first when it's serious. But If I can't buy one, I might end up with the Xbox Series X first if they first come, first serve.
Hey
I'd
man,
be
nobody
happy
here.
with that decision.
Nobody here is going to fire a bullet at you for picking one or the other, bro. It's all fucking good. It's gaming at the end of the day, and we hope that these beasts really perform and give us some fantastic experiences. And is it possible for you to turn up your mic a little bit, Triple Cup?
Yeah.
sound a-
Hold up. I'm finna switch over right now.
All right, we're just waiting for him to cue that mic up. All right, let's get over to Squirrely Dan, baby. What have you been up to?
As far as gaming goes, let me see. Let's go home here. Let's back this up. I saw Gears Tactics. Fired that up a little bit. That's looking awesome from what I've seen. Apex Legends has been keeping me held down since the dawn of time. That fucking game, I hate it and love it. SnowRunner. I mean, yeah, I play way too much Apex. Got into Doom Eternal now that it's in that Game Pass. Decided to restart the Outer World. I've been loving that. Trying to play Watch Dogs, Wasteland. Too many fucking games. Yeah, I'm just playing a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Still trying to get through my backlog on the PS4, but too many games on the Xbox, like we were talking about, to even think about it right now.
Yeah, man. When you got Game Pass, you got options.
Man.
There's no question about that. Let's get over to my amazing co-host, the Mag, baby. What have you been throwing down? Sounds like you, before we went live, you were saying you've been trying to pound out some PlayStation games here lately.
Well, I've been pounding out something. Yeah, you know what I've been doing? I caught up on the Xbox side. I finished Mafia Definitive Edition, so that game was so good, and more on that later. But anyhow, what I'm trying to do now is, because I don't know what PlayStation's up to, okay? I don't know what's carrying over, what's not carrying over, and I don't know what saves are going here, what saves are going there. So I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to bury my entire PS4 backlog and just get her done before I get the PS5. So I got 3 games left. I just got to get the platinum on Spider-Man. I'm working on that now. I got to get the platinum on God of War, and then I've got to finish Days Gone, and I'm done. And then the PS4 is going out the front door. Someone can come pick it up on Facebook Marketplace. I don't give a shit. And here's another thing.
Yo, is it a pro?
What's that, brother?
Is it a pro?
Yes. I'm a pro. It's a pro.
I'll pick
good.
it up.
Well, from Yellowknife. Holy, that's a hell of a drive. So what I'm not doing is I'm not playing my Xbox anymore until the Series X comes out. I already got 2 of them coming day one, so I'm not worried about it. But here's the thing. I want to build up anticipation. It's only 4 weeks away, for crying out loud. So it's not like it's super far away. Yeah. So I'm going to finish those 3 PS4 games, get her done, and then I'm going to move on to the Xbox Series X. And then even for example, like you guys were just talking about Doom Eternal, right, on Game Pass. I don't want to play it right now. Yeah. I want to play it on the Series X with all the bells and whistles and everything else that's coming with it. So that's what I'm waiting for. And so, and Destiny as well, right? We got Destiny coming at 4K 60 and who knows what else, right? And then we've got the Medium and all these other games. So, and then of course I'm going to be buying obviously Call of Duty. I'm going to be getting Assassin's Creed and Cyberpunk. So I got a lot of games to play. And then, if I can actually get my hands on the PS5, then I'll move on to Miles Morales as well. So
nice.
But anyways, that's what I'm up to.
Well, for me, Ghost of Tsushima, a little Mafia 3. Just picked up the new Star Wars Squadrons games, which is one of our topics for later on. Try to get some feedback on how people are or not enjoying that game, one or the other, all that stuff. Let's catch up with the chat here before we get into some of the stuff. We got Stu rolls out 808. What's happening, Stu? Hope you're rolling out of somewhere right now. We got Infinite in the house. Crazy Greek dude is here. Pong Soul. We got Casket Repair. Marlesco, Shizno, Pongs, yeah, I already said them. So I think I've given everybody their shout out so far. I hope I didn't miss you. Megatron is in the house, and you are welcome, Megatron. I had a blast on TRX this past weekend, and I was talking to the guys about the show too, and some of the points I articulated earlier. But let's get right into the beef and potatoes. So start out with a light and easy breezy topic for tonight. Outside of gaming, I'm sure everybody loves movies. I don't know if you followed or caught the article. Obviously, Squirrely didn't because he got added to all this a little bit late. But a lot of big movies, guys, have been pushed back to 2022, 23, so on and so forth. The latest news coming out of the UK is like the new James Bond movie, which was supposed to come out a little bit later on this year. That's actually been canned and moved into next year, I do believe. And apparently because of that major cancellation, one of the major movie chains in the UK is actually shutting its doors. So some serious stuff. I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about this, but I'm a little bit taken back. People aren't really talking about it that much, but the movie industry, more than many others, has taken an actual massive beating here, at least from the theater standpoint. How many movies have gotten canned this year? And that also means when movies in the theater get canned, we're not seeing them coming out on store shelves. Like, I mean, I've been into, my local Walmarts and stuff, and like their shelf for new releases is very, very dry because nothing's come out. So if nothing's in the theater, nothing's going to come out on Blu-ray, DVD, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know about you guys, and we'll let our guests take the floor first. Any particular movie that was pushed back or canceled this year for you guys really disappointed? How do you feel about it as a whole? Like, are you concerned about where this movie industry could be if this COVID extends itself well into next year? And I'll let Mr. Triple Cup maybe take the floor on this one if you have anything to say about it at all.
Man, what's good, Noob? Hey, Noob, I'm literally thinking like, man, Noob set me up. It's like, okay, my analogy is baseball. I'm not playing baseball. Noob came out there say, Chuck, you're a guest, man. Look, I'm gonna put a T stand up here and put a ball on top of it. Now let's hit this out of the park. First and foremost, let's talk about Sony with this here. Sony movie industry, because everybody knows Sony, it badly is holding up as is, and they holding up by the skin of their teeth is with the PlayStation division and Spider-Man, right? So everybody know they're gonna quadruple down on Spider-Man because they don't have nothing else to pull out from their division. So that's why Venom is getting pushed back, Morpheus is getting pushed back, and people like that don't even know that it's going to hurt the gaming division as well, because when Sony go completely out of business, what can their gaming division do? Because it can't hold up the whole thing. You have these other companies that's coming out, even a big movie companies like with the MCU, because everybody know the MCU is the biggest juggernaut that's under Disney, them and Star Wars.
Yeah.
All of their movies is getting pushed back at least by a year. I mean, people was talking about the Eternals movie getting pushed back or WandaVision getting pushed back. Me, I already had the perception that, okay, as long as they could be able to push every movie back, instead of movie coming out in 2020, they just take that 0 and put a 1 behind it. I think everybody should be able to, in the big movie industry, could be able to just kind of network and come out of this hole that we having. But these other movies that gotta be pushed out, have to be pushed out there, can't succeed because they can't hold no revenue for no very long period of time. So they trying to find these other different revenues, like going straight to streaming instead of going to the movies and selling different revenues now and changing the industry. And with the changing of the industry, that means there's going to be a rise and a fall of companies. So some of these companies that was with us, they're not going to be able to make it post COVID compared to like some of the companies that was with us pre-COVID. Now we might have a rise in different type of things like we have in Disney Plus, HBO Max. That's the new juggernaut that's going to be going for the future for it. So I think this push is just going to be a push because we're going to come to a real change and we're not going to go back to the way things used to be. I mean, that's just all in a nutshell. I ain't want to rant too long about it though.
No, you summed it up pretty well. I definitely think you're onto something that the streaming services, they're probably loving it because now they're going to get movies closer to the release date, because apparently it was a deal signed a while back that they don't have to wait now that average of, I think it's 3 months after they leave a theater to get them on their streaming platform. So that's huge. But it is disturbing, man, because we're watching these industries fall around us with very little support. I mean, we're seeing how our governments in some cases have stepped in to help others, but they're not doing much here. And I mean, I know the movie theaters, they're always trying to come up with a new gimmick because they're getting so expensive now. People just aren't going out anymore. And especially while we all got big screen TVs and amazing sound systems, the theater experience is not really, it's not what it was, like say back in the 80s and 90s when legitimately that was the best place to watch a film. Now it's the technology is really closing the gap. And it's starting to become way more affordable to stay home, that sort of stuff. But I'm definitely concerned about it. I know the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson that was pushed to 2022. I think Shazam has been pushed back to Shazam 2. Black Adam, a lot of the DC stuff has been pushed. I did hear that The Matrix did get moved up, though, a little earlier into next year, the new sequel. So that's kind of cool. Let's get over to the mag on this one, baby. How do you feel about it all? Are you concerned with this?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because you could see the shift has been coming for a number of years now, right? So what I'm seeing now is that because of the pandemic situation, it's given it that nudge that the digital industry was looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm not saying it's my favorite option, because I do like to be able to go to the theater once in a while, especially the theater up the road, because they finally renovated the damn thing. And I'll tell you why. They renovated it and they put those leather, completely lay down, like couch things. They're almost like single beds. The whole damn theater, all 18 screens, they did that, and they still didn't raise their prices. And then they have this whole like, new, you know what Bulk Barn is, the place where you go and you buy all the candy and shit and the bins and all that. Okay, they did that now. So now you just grab your own shit. You grab your own popcorn, your own candy, your own stuff, whatever, and you go up, they weigh it, and you go into the theater. They even have healthy stuff, if you can believe it. So anyhow, the point is, the digital industry was dying for the theater industry to just go away. Because then everybody goes to their side, right? And then all of a sudden the pandemic comes, and you know what these guys are doing? Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, what the hell's the other one I just got? Prime. All these guys, they're all rubbing their hands going, yes, bitch. Right? That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what they're doing right now, because then what ends up happening, everybody's staying at home and people are not going out. And, I got actually, funny enough, we're talking about this, because I got an argument about this with my brothers this morning, and we were talking about it. And they're like, yeah, but like, now it's just going to be the same fucking thing like cable was, $100 a month, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, right, fair enough, fair point. That's assuming that you subscribe to every single one of them. Okay, the way I look at it, I'm subscribed to Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime, and Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. It's $50 a month, Canadian. Okay, so that's not a huge investment. If you think about it, if I go to the theater with my wife, it's $50 for one movie for 2 hours. Okay, 2 tickets is like $30, and then I get whatever, some snacks and shit, $20. There's your $50. Yeah, I understand it's an experience. You're going out. It's kind of like a date night. Blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, I can have that same date night, $50 just paid for 4 subscriptions for 1 month, if you think about it that way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you could see where other people's mentality is. Other people's mentality is that they're not going to go. They're going to say, why the hell am I going to go? Because here's the thing now. Now people are used to it. People have been home for 6, 7 months, 8 months now, and now they're getting used to it. So now people are getting complacent, and now they're going to sit on their ass and they're going, why the fuck am I going to go to the theater, spend $50? I can just turn on the TV. It's right there. I can go get some microwave popcorn. I can grab a couple of beers and whatever and carry on with my day. And then guess what? When the movie's done, you can go upstairs and go to bed. Okay? You don't have to drive. You don't have to look for parking. And so this is where the shift is going to happen. As for the movies being delayed, this doesn't come as any surprise to me at all. By the way, they also delayed I think it was about an hour ago they announced they delayed Jurassic World 3 to 2022 as well. And sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say what I did find bizarre, though, is that they moved The Matrix up a year. Like, you would figure that's a huge, like, heavy special effects kind of movie. Right? But they seem to move it up earlier. So I'm like, maybe it's going to be a more grassroots kind of Matrix 4.
What I can start seeing happen now is a lot of bidding wars behind the scenes where these publishers, unless you have your own streaming outlet like Disney has, I can see various streaming companies throwing big money for exclusivity or timed exclusivity on a lot of these films now. If they're not going to be in the theaters, imagine somebody landing a Matrix for their own platform. So either you got to get a subscription for that platform or, basically suck it up, right?
They call them originals.
Yeah, exactly.
I call them originals.
Disney.
Netflix originals, Hulu originals.
Yep.
But the good thing about it is you pay for what you want. So with cable, you used to pay you pay $120 for 107 channels, but you only watch 10 or 12 channels. I mean, but this, if I want Netflix, I want to watch Orange the New Black. That means I get to pay for this here. They can bring it to me uncut because I ain't got to worry about sponsorships and commercials. So they can't be as raw as they want to be. We can get the Punisher series, the how we got the Daredevil series where they can actually get as gritty as they want to get. So with the streaming service, we can actually do it that way, and it's a win-win for us because we don't have to be like the cable companies and pay that $150 for all these channels. We could pay, like you said, $50 for for what the ones we want and the things that we want, and then we can alter it. Okay, I got Netflix this month here. I've seen everything on Netflix. I don't want to watch Netflix no more. I get Hulu for 3 months and watch everything on Hulu, catch up with that, and I could go back and forth if I want to do like that and binge everything. So it's just different ways of doing things now. It's a different era.
Yeah, no, we got to get used to it. The cable system still fucking sucks because you got to stick your fingers into at least 5 stinky assholes before you get one that's going to be clean and nice. You know what I mean? It's just you got to take the whole enchilada or you fucking don't get it at all. Let's catch up with the chat real quick before we get over to Squirrely. We got a super chat from my Canadian brother, Free Jack, who drops $5 and says, I did my part by renting the new Bill and Ted off of Xbox Movies and TV for $30. And he gets a little cringy icon there. Yeah, Free Jack, the movie's going to have to be awfully something I'd really want to see before just renting it at $30. I'll if I could buy the movie like day and date for $30, maybe, because I mean you're basically paying $30 for a Blu-ray up here in Canada, but just for a quick rental and then you can't watch it no more. No, I'll kind of wait. I'll take my time. So let's give another shout out to the chat because we got lots of guys up in here. Tip Top Dalton is in the house. Froggy T. Wright. We got Captain Crunch, Psychonauts. Our good brother Saltiest Gaiman has graced us with his presence. What's up, Salt? We got Brand the Dawn. We got Back from the Dead in here. We got Juan Castillo. We got Anime Heaven. There you go. I think I've caught up with everybody now. So thanks for being here, guys. You guys are fantastic. If you didn't catch it at the top of the show, Titan couldn't be with us tonight, but we've got 2 incredible guests with us. And speaking of guests, well, now it is your turn, Mr. Squirrel with the muscles, Mr. Squirrely Dan. How do you feel about it, Squirrely? And second of all, do you guys even have movies up in Yellowknife, or do you have to pay like $150 to go see one?
Do you have electricity?
Yeah, it's a part-time thing up here. Hydro. So as far as the movie situation goes up here, like we've got one little theater, and I mean it's pretty much raggedy as a motherfucker. So I've never been out to it. I honestly I'm not ultra big on TV or movies too much. Like I love like the Marvel and stuff like that, like things with comic books and video games, things I grew up with.
You're a
and some other
guy,
things.
aren't you?
Nah, it's just. Yeah, it's just I prefer my entertainment like something I can control, which is why I'm deep into gaming. It's like it's all stories are stories, but it's like when I feel I'm part of it, to me, it's just better than movies. Even though I love like I said the Marvel stuff and all that, all the fun stuff there. But I mean, we have Netflix, and that's basically it. And it's the only thing that runs on that thing is Boss Baby and Coco Melon for the little one, basically. So as far as the movie industry being hurt, yeah, I mean that sucks, but I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, there's a lot of shit getting hurt right now, right? So, I mean, hey, the movie industry is going down. Get into gaming. Seems to be picking up.
Yeah. You watch the Marvel movies, though, right?
What's that? Oh, yeah. I love, like, the Marvel stuff and the DC stuff. And
Spider-Man, they supposed to be open up the multiverse, and Electra from out the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is supposed to be the new Electra.
Yeah.
New Spider-Man. They're going to bust the whole multiverse open, where they're going to have not just one, but maybe 3 Peter Parkers or more from what I'm hearing so far.
Wow.
And yeah, they finna really bring the Spider-Verse gonna be the next in-game ass movie. So I took myself to watch Amazing Spider-Man 2 over with Electra. And
I was gonna say you can see it already on the PS5. They got 2 Spider-Mans on there now. They got new Peter Parker there too.
And Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire coming out of retirement.
That's what I was saying. They're gonna bring Tobey. Yeah, he gonna bring Tobey Maguire out of retirement. What's the one from Amazing Spider-Man? Garfield. I mean, I'm sorry, but to me, he wasn't a good Spider-Man. He just ain't hit the road as Peter Parker. As him Spider-Man, I could deal with him, and he was too tall. But they're supposed to be bringing all of them back, and they're gonna open up the multiverse, and they're gonna with the multiverse of madness with Doctor Strange gonna carry over into the next Spider-Man when they're gonna have the Spider-Verse. That's what they're trying to do, and they're trying to bring over all the Sony verse into the MCU. See, Sony is smarter than what people think. Sony is trying to butt up against the MCU right now, as in that's why they're trying to make everybody associate Spider-Man with PlayStation. I mean, they're going all out behind that, if y'all know.
Well, they don't got much choice. They got to go all in on something.
Yeah.
Spider seems to be it.
My bad. We talk about MCU, I go, but yeah.
Well, guys, like I said, we won't beat this topic to death, but it is a sign of the times. It is sad. And it is sad because, obviously, maybe the writing was on the wall a long time ago, but at the same time, COVID-19 and the way things are, trying to get back to business is really throwing a big monkey wrench into, everything getting back together. So like I said, while the movie industry obviously will survive and it will move on, just like the games industry is doing, the way we consume that entertainment is definitely going to change. I can see a lot of big theaters downsizing or closing completely. So going out, eating popcorn and telling people to shut the fuck up, that might be a thing of the past. But let's and it's crazy because they've invested so much in a lot of these theaters over the last 5 or 6 years with the big seats now and the crazy sound systems and the 3D and the different things, and they've constantly tried to reinvent themselves. But like you guys all hit the nail on the head too. It's very pricey. If you got a family to bring to a movie, it is
forget it, dude.
It's a lot of fucking money just for one little experience. Yeah,
$100 for me to take my wife and my 2 kids to go see fucking SpongeBob. $100.
Listen, if I want to go to a good movie theater, I got to go all the way down to Edmonton, and that's a 15-hour drive. So,
god dang. Ah, damn. Let's catch up with the chat there real quick before we move to the next topic. And don't forget, guys, while Titan is not here, we won't have in the next generation, we will have our segment with his Ask Arnold. That is coming up here shortly. So get your questions ready from Mr. Arnold as he will be answering them. And don't forget, the Mag has got Name That Game with his amazing Tony Baloney. So he's going to be back. And your chance to win some prizes with that shit. So do not go away. It pays to be here for the entire show. Let's get to VJ is in the chat. What's going on? We got Angel Flores. We got Abacab here. Thanks for being here, guys. Pong Soul, Emmanuel A1. Woo! We got Mr. Kima. Who else? Juan Castillo. And I think we had some super chats. Let me catch up with those guys before we get in. We got Infinite, who's in the chat, and he drops $4.99 and says, speaking of doing your part, hit that like button, guys. Yeah, we appreciate the likes. Hit the down button, too. Doesn't matter. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever makes you smile. We just appreciate that you're here. We got 46 amazing people watching. A Regulator 951, he drops $1.99 into super chat and says, what's up, my gaming bros? Keep up the great work. We appreciate that, brother. Thanks for being here and supporting this podcast. I think this podcast got lots of potential, guys, but we can't get there without you either. So appreciate that. Let's move the show along, guys. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Like I said, let's talk about this next one. It wasn't really on my topics list, but it's been kind of making a lot of noise, I guess you could say. I guess you could say it's been heating up social media over the last few hours, and that is people apparently reporting that the Xbox Series X runs quite hot. Now, I have an odd feeling that I don't believe it, that I'm going to call a pile of shit on this one, just because we've seen how well Microsoft's been making their consoles over the last couple with the Series S, or sorry, it's not the Series S, but the Xbox One S, and then the Xbox One X, and they've been whisper quiet. And my Xbox One X, man, I don't know if that thing's ever gotten hot. Like it's very modest at best, even after long playtime. So I'm going to start in kind of reverse order. I'm going to go back with the Mag on this one. He can take the floor. Mag, what do you call, man? You think there's a lot of, does something smell like dog doo-doo in here, or do you think there might be some truth to it all? I mean, maybe there's the odd unit here and there, but I just think there's some guys trying to throw some throw some shade on the Xbox brand once again.
Yeah, you know what? Pardon the pun, but I think a lot of these guys are just blowing out a whole lot of hot air. But anyhow, I'll see myself out. Anyhow, I read these. I looked at all the headlines. I read some of the articles. They're completely nonsensical. Okay, it's completely nonsensical. They're just it's basic physics. Excuse me. What they're doing is that they're taking the hot air and they're blowing it out of the system. Imagine that. Imagine that. What would you like us to do? Why don't you put your hand on the back of a fucking refrigerator and tell me how that feels? Or on the back of a microwave when it's running. Well, you should do that anyway. But anyways, put your hands on the back of that and then see what's happening. What is it doing? It's blowing out the hot air. Same thing with the refrigerator, blowing out the hot air. So what they're doing right now is like, these are like, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Okay. These are rats on a sinking ship. They got nothing to grab onto. Okay. They're grasping at straws and they're all starting to sink. And they're looking for any goddamn excuse in the book to be able to shit on Microsoft about something. Because, another thing, how can you throw stones, okay, when Xbox has been taking all those stones away from you?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they keep taking everything away from you. There's nothing you could say. And now all of a sudden the thing's blowing out hot air out of the top. Obviously, have you seen the vent? The whole top is a vent. And then like, oh yeah, is blowing out hot air. It feels a little hot. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be doing. Now, if there's a problem down the road, I will bend the knee and I'll say, okay, you know what? There was a problem. But from my understanding, from what these guys are all saying, and even the tech experts out there are not worried about this at all. These are just GameSpots and your Kotakus and all those rodeo clowns running around. They're the ones putting this stuff up because they're looking for sensational articles to get clickbait 1 month before the release of the consoles. That's all.
How dare you insinuate this?
Yeah, exactly, right? This is all it is. It's just clickbait to get people excited a month before the release so that there's some buzz, something to talk about. Because then all of a sudden the ZeniMax thing died down. They're like, well, shit, we need something else to talk about now. And then, then let's compare it to the PS5. Have we even seen the PS5 turned on?
Wait, you can't.
Exactly, Squirrely Dan. Exactly. Okay, we don't even know if that damn PS5 was even turned on in that extremely controlled event that was.
It doesn't even look like it was plugged into anything.
Exactly, yeah. It was just kind of sitting there. And from my understanding, is that they weren't even allowed to touch it. Okay, yeah, no, that was apparently a thing.
Shifty, and it was on a separate table, like a table in front of the table with the TV.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, and and I said it last night on Boom Show. I said, I bet you Jim Ryan was standing behind the camera with 3 goons, armed. Staring the dude down. Sure. It'd be like, all right, Elton John, you make one move towards that console, we're gonna break your knuckles. No more Astrobot for you, buddy. Right? So anyways, I don't know what's going on, but anyways, it's just a load of bullshit. I'm not gonna go on and on and on about it. I just think that it's being over exaggerated in order to create some drama, in order to just trying to get something going, right? Because it's really hard to talk shit when there's nothing to talk shit about.
Absolutely. Triple Cup, how do you feel about it, man? Do you think the Xbox is going to blow up in your face, or or how's it? It does have a big fan. I mean, it's got one of the biggest fans in the industry. It's almost as big as some of those the fake boobs on a hooker, man. You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about it, Chuck?
I mean, to be honest with you, it is a concern because Xbox and other PlayStation and all consoles that is new that's coming out is a concern that it may have something that's malfunction. But in this day and age, this generation, and the mistakes of the past should not be repeated. I mean, Red Ring of Death should not be repeated, not by a multi-million-dollar corporation. I mean, if you are a multi-million-dollar corporation, you do not become rich by making the same mistakes over and over and over again. But this situation to occur, it have to be the dev units is not the final product, or it might be a situation where the power that this machine is pushing out. It got to have a way to put out the heat, and the heat have to keep it, keep it cool. How the vents always is on everything else, but at the same time, you might have it in a small space, and they might put something saying that make sure you have this amount of space in between this Xbox so it can have breathing room. Now that might be a concern that you can't just jam it up in a little small space or a little corner or something in it, and it's crammed in there, because they have people that might take their laptops and put on top of their Xbox, their books, and everything else. They might say, hey, you're not supposed to do this around this console because it needs proper ventilation. Now that part might be a concern, but it's not for them to be saying Chicken Little, the sky is falling. It should be more like, oh, this is next generation, and because everybody know once this Xbox come out within the next 2 to 3 years, they're gonna come out with a slim or another version of these consoles. The same way they came out the S. I mean, if you go back to every console every console, not just one console, every console, they'd have made smaller versions of these consoles just because the parts are cheaper and they are made and they're more compact. So if they don't think that they don't want to be a barter with this first generation, because that's what these corporations trying to do, is trying to keep you from purchasing this first to make the PlayStation blow up. That mean if the PlayStation blow up, that mean they have more videos to talk about, more clickbait, instead of being able to talk about variations of things. They try to pin something on something so small that Microsoft could cut off all lanes. So this is the only thing they could talk about. For me, at the end of the day, if you look at it, it's a win-win, because if that's it, I can take it.
Mm-hmm. No, great points, man. Indeed. I mean, there's always room for concern, especially when you have consoles launching, like, because we know that the first batch of consoles, obviously they're probably a little bit more of a rush in terms of manufacturing. Obviously they haven't been as tested. They're tested pretty well. They put them to some pretty rigorous stuff long before they hit the production line. But there is no better, what you call it, game tester or electronics tester than when the mass public gets it. And you're talking millions of people, not just thousands of units, but millions of units out in the wild being run. Gamers are going to get these things. They're going to be playing these things fucking 6, 8 hours, 10 hours a day. They're going to be, and these are high powered consoles, the PS5 and the Series X. They're running some serious compute speeds there. They've obviously, both consoles look like they've definitely put some pretty serious fan work in there. So it's all about the ventilation. And I guess the other part is where you're going to station this in your house. We know hot air goes up. The Series X is obviously, meant to be stuck up vertically. It even looks like the PS5 is, for the most part, meant to be up vertically. So, I don't know, man. It's interesting, but yeah, we definitely got to go into this with a side of caution, because we always see a little bit of a higher failure rate within the first year of a console on the market, as opposed to year 2, 3, 4. As we saw that, especially like you go back to great examples, the Xbox 360. By the time they did the revisions on the hardware, 2, 3 years in, the machine was a lot better than it was in its first year to 2 years on the market, right? So let's catch up with the chat real quick, and then I'll get Squirrely to jump in on this. We got the doctor in the house. We got Dave Folker. What's going on, Dave? Brandon on, full speculations in the house here. Who else did I miss? Did I miss anybody, guys? I hope we got every Mar. Let's go. What's happening? Psychonauts 8. Regulator, Juan Castillo. Good stuff, guys. I think I've caught up with everybody now. Who's the middle-aged gamer guy? He is the mag, and he's fucking awesome. That's who he is.
Who's asking that?
Infinite.
Infinite. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not watching a lot of podcasts lately if you don't know who Mag is. All right, Terrence Tate, what's happening, brother? Crazy Greek, what's going on? All right, let's get down to it. Squirrely, how about yourself, man? Any concerns? You think, like I said, there's a lot of BS around. There's no question about it, and on both sides. There's guys making crap up about PlayStation. There's dudes making stuff about the Xbox, and we see this all the time. So how do you feel about it?
Listen, the thing about making things up with the PlayStation, I mean, we don't have a choice since we don't really know much about it.
Right.
So, I mean, people have got nothing better to do than just make shit up. As far as the Xbox goes, like with this heat thing, I'm calling full on bullshit. Middle Age said it right. I mean, people who don't know tech, if they really don't know tech, it's like you put your hand on it, it's hot. The more power it fucking draws, the more pixels it's trying to push to your screen faster, the more heat it's going to produce. Same thing with anything, your refrigerator, everything, right? The bigger the fridge, the more it cools, the more heat it's got to fucking generate to do it. So, I mean, it's bullshit. Unless some of these people, like I seen the one where somebody's Xbox, I guess it gave them the warning overheat and it shut itself down. For all you know, they stuck it in an IKEA cupboard with the fan only having like a half, like a half a centimeter above the vent. And you just can't do that, or wrap a towel around it, or who knows what some of these people are doing to try to cause a failure, right? Just so they could say, hey, look, I got one that burns. This thing sucks. As far as it goes, like, I'm not worried about it. I know Xbox, they've said it themselves that, like, heat management is like one of their key concerns because of the Red Ring of Death fiasco, and they don't want to eat that cost again. So
no,
I'm sure they've been as diligent as humanly possible to ensure that we don't have massive failures. So I'm not worried a bit.
No, I'm not too worried either. I mean, it can happen. We know that the failure rates are generally around, 5%? Is that what they estimate?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah,
give or take.
But they stress test the shit out of these things too, right? So
yeah.
They're going to put it through the ringer. And then the other thing is too, like you were just saying, Squirrely Dan, like the guys who took it, guys who actually have their hands on it, influencers and whatnots, they also stress test the shit out of it too, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to put it in different cabinets. I mean, it doesn't belong to me. I'd be like, all right, let me see what happens here. because then their actual Series X is coming in a month or whatever, right? Just like the rest of us.
Right.
So you
what
put
I
it
would
in the
do-
cabinet, try it out, see what you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fuck
But if
around
you
with
cause
it.
a failure,
When
but if you
like
cause a failure with it, man. Oh, go ahead.
now I was wondering, I was hearing about like some of the YouTubers that was able to get them that they had a limited amount. Well, this YouTuber might have had it for this amount of time, then he had to pay send it to another YouTuber, and this YouTuber was able to review it or whatever like that. So this first person probably had it and could have did something to it before the second person got it. But I don't know how that works. So I'm just saying out of curiosity that I was hearing that some of the consoles were shared between YouTubers.
That's right. You got to stop eating
Crazy,
grilled
maybe.
cheese sandwiches on top of the console. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm hungry.
Right.
Well, on a good note, especially for us Canadians and probably Squirrely Dan, and if nothing else, he starts getting a malfunctioning Series X, he can always leave it in his driveway and melt all the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to overheat shit up here.
No, probably not. One of the coldest places out there, right up there, baby. And it gets chilly here too. Well, speaking of sort of segueing off of this whole thing, guys, what did you make of the sort of PlayStation reveal? Because there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. We saw their publications in Japan, you know, essentially playing the Astrobot game. You see, of course, this one guy's been all over the internet with the weird facial expression. He's blowing into the controller. And he's jerking his hands left and right. And he's making some weird
Hey,
fucking
hold on, that's
sounds.
real? Say, Nuke, that's real? My bad, I'm sorry, that was real.
That's the real deal.
Man, I thought it was a fake commercial. I ain't know there was somebody really playing the PlayStation. The dude throwing the little hands back and forth and blowing inside of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's worse than the Nintendo.
he thought that was a joke. No, that shit happened.
That's the game. That's the gaming media they're saying, and everybody's been making fun of. They're calling what is it an Elton John? What was it Elton John cross with Austin Powers or something?
Yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
first thing I thought about. Hey, you ever seen the PlayStation, the VR game where they got the little bikini girls and you got the little squirt guns and you got to spray them and stuff like that? I can imagine now you can take the controller and blow on it. Man, it's over. It's over with.
Well, the porn
You
guys are
can
gonna have a
Google
lot
that
of
shit
fun
right
with this.
Oh god.
My bad, no game.
Man, yeah, those DualSense controllers are gonna be so full of fucking spit.
Yeah, like can you imagine?
Hose those
This
things
is-
down before you go to somebody's house and play a game.
Yeah, this is the time. This is the time in the middle of a pandemic where you're supposed to be wearing a mask and like you know, spit comes out of your
Spitting
mouth
on
is
each
how the
other.
fucking virus spreads, and everybody's gonna be going. Everybody's gonna be sitting there going "Brrr" into their fucking controllers.
Dude, I tell you, the first time a game requires me to blow into a controller to play, I'm shutting that shit down.
Oh, well, that's why I saw one guy. He's like, "Oh, fuck this shit, I'm out," or something on Twitter. He saw the videos. He's like, "No, I ain't playing that shit." Oh man, it's too fucking funny. I mean, I get it. I get the whole point behind it with the Astrobot game, much like it took advantage of VR when they made Astrobot Rescue Mission. Obviously, this game is a pack-in. It's not a really large game in size, and it is meant to just kind of show people the benefits of the DualSense, which is something that Sony has, you know, been touting a lot more than their actual power, whereas Xbox has been touting the power in the back and pat. So they kind of both have their angles, going about things a little bit differently. But it is fucking weird. I'll say that, man. And I'm not even sure. Like I said, is the console even fucking real? Like it's just weird at this point. It's like you said, it looks like it's not even hooked up, and they were in a paid environment, a controlled environment. So obviously, any type of feedback they were giving out was very, you know,
Controlled.
very controlled, very dictated, right? So
Listen, they did that in a country where you're not free to say what you want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can control the narrative, or bad shit happens type of deal.
Like, put you to
I
death.
mean, if they really wanted to let it out and have people look at it, they would have done it in the U.S. where people could talk shit about it or rave about it all they want. But at least they'd be able to say, you know, what their opinion is.
Yeah.
Can I piggyback off what Squirrely just said?
Go right to it,
Okay,
man.
let me just. Here's the thing. Why? And you know, I've been a huge. I have a huge problem with this. Is that why isn't it in the North? Not just North America. I'm going to take that back. North America, Canada, U.S., also the UK, Europe, Australia. Those are your target markets for the PlayStation. Okay, why wouldn't you give it to any YouTubers or influencers there? Why wouldn't you send it out? But you've noticed that they're keeping it so close to their chest. It's almost like they're playing fucking poker. Like they're not showing their show your fucking cards. It's 4 weeks.
Even Jeff Keighley didn't get one, did he?
Yeah, and Jeff Keighley's not blowing controllers. He's blowing his buddy there. What's it called?
Kojima.
Yeah, he's blowing Kojima. And let me tell you something else. And he can't even get a PS5.
Already.
Okay, see where it got you, Jeff? Nowhere. Okay, and I'll tell you another thing. If I don't get that PS5, I didn't pre-order one. Okay, but if I don't get that PS5 day one, it gets pulled to 2021. Then Sony can blow me because I ain't blowing that controller. I'll tell you that right now. But anyhow. This is nonsense. Okay, it's absolute nonsense. Why aren't you giving it to those people? You know why? Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because they're fucking scared. Okay, they're scared. They're worried. They're worried about that huge delta in power.
Yeah,
the huge.
They don't want Digital Foundry getting a hold of that fucking thing.
Oh my God, Digital Foundry
sold out everywhere.
Right, tear it to shreds. You thought 1080p versus 900p was bad? Oh, let me tell you, folks. When there's a 30% power difference, it's going to be a hell of a lot more than 1080p, 900p like it was in 202013. And they're not going to be analyzing blades of grass in GTA 5. Okay, they're going to be showing games. They're going to be like, yo, NBA.
Going to be analyzing shades of ass instead of blades of grass.
You know, I saw it floating around. They were saying that there were some people doing a stress test on it, which I think it was just fake, but you never know. You never know. It was saying that NBA 2K21 was running at 22 frames a second and some open sweeping wide shots on the PS5, 22 frames per second. And on the X, it was running at 59. So you tell me. I don't know. Am I the asshole here? I'm just talking. So,
hey, you know. That's big though, because if you know about 2K, like I know about 2K. The reason why 2K always been bad, and I've been hearing it all around from more than one YouTuber, that the Azure service they could be on Microsoft, but they chose not to because they have a sponsor deal with PlayStation, and they can make the Xbox version better than the PlayStation version just because of the sponsorship deal. So they had to make a more even playing field. So even if the Xbox version might be better, if Sony got the marketing rights for it, that means they're gonna dumb our version down. And that's when I remember hearing Phil Spencer talk a lot about he didn't want to take
parody bullshit.
Yeah, he didn't want to take away from gamers. You know, in marketing rights in a game, it'd be a full game, and they say, "Oh, we want the marketing rights," and then they'll just strip something out the game and say, "Well, y'all just can't have it because they paid more money for it." Instead of them saying, "Well, they paid more money, let me make some more to build something for them special for the game because they paid for it." They rather just rip out the game. That's what we get.
There you go. Well, speaking of, like I said, let's just get the consensus around, guys, and that goes to the chat. Like I said, we are like basically a month or so away. I'm just trying to figure out who put a 1 in the chat if you pre-ordered a Series X. Put a 2 in the chat if you have pre-ordered PS5, and put 3 if you've pre-ordered both. I would love to know. Let's go around the panel once again. We'll start with Squirrely. Did you pre-order either, Squirrely?
Yeah, I got my X. It was a little sketchy, as all the websites were crashing, and I was actually at an appointment at the hospital with the doctor, and I said, "Listen, when 9 o'clock drops, I got to be online real quick. I don't care what you're talking about. I got to get this shit done." And she's like, "What you getting?" And I told her, and she's like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll try and get you out of here before that." So I still couldn't get through. I had my wife in the other room trying to get help me out at the hospital on her phone. I just happened to stop by at a source here in town. And because it's Yellowknife and there's, nobody lives here, I was the only guy in the store. I said, "Are you taking pre-orders for the X?" They said, "Yes, we are." And their shit wasn't frozen. They got me through. So I was like, sweet.
You kind of gets one by default. That's where you got to move, guys, to those little fucking quaint places in the middle of buckfuck nowhere in Canada,
or
right?
just think of the little stores that sell them, but people don't think of the little stores, right? They want the Best Buys and the EB
the Shoppers Drug Marts of Canada, right? Yeah,
you gotta.
I couldn't.
Yeah, my wife's like, "Hey, I got one." Yeah, EB Games, yeah, but yeah, we don't have nothing up here, and we don't have a lot of population, so I was lucky to just walk in, and their system wasn't froze out. But it wouldn't let me on the app. It wouldn't let me through the website to do it. But they had access to their back end, and they're like, "Yeah, we get you one right now." I was like, "Let's do it."
Nice. Triple Cup. I think you said at the top of the show that you plunked down for PS5. Is that correct?
No. No, I said I'm hopping generations to the PlayStation 5. Let
Okay.
me just explain my situation, right? By me being a part of the Xbox community, now I was just weighing the options. I said, well, if Xbox is going to be backwards and forward compatible, I mean, at the very beginning, if I had to make a choice between Xbox and PlayStation, I would just get the PlayStation, still purchase all of my multiplayer on the Xbox, and then that'd be my first console. And when I went to go on the PlayStation, what situation was when they had the pre-orders that came up, right?
Yep.
So I went to the GameStop. My GameStop opened up at it said 11:30. So I'm standing outside GameStop. I'm calling another GameStop inside of another city that's inside of another time zone that's open up an hour ahead, calling them trying to get in line to get my PlayStation. They told me, well, they were sold out. So we ain't better get enough from no GameStop. So I ain't listen to them. And then I talked to the people, one of the first person in line, and I wasn't the first person. They were like me and another little dude, and no more PlayStations. They was already gone before the store even opened. Like it was like no PlayStations at all. So I was in a situation where, everybody was complaining because how can I order something when they didn't have no pre-orders there to order at the store in line? No, it ain't. They ain't had no line, no crazy line out there. And I see why they didn't, because everybody must have found out ahead of time that because they let it loose that night and that day. So I fell into that situation. But me being a gamer, if I don't be able to get my hands on a PlayStation by at least by February, I'm going to get me an Xbox Series X, because I can't hold out no longer than that, because this holiday season is critical. But I felt like I could survive and make it because of all the stuff that's going on. And I got burnt already with games this generation because I bought Madden 21, and this is the worst Madden ever in history out of bought. And it's like the games have done games. I bought that Avengers game. Don't get me wrong, I love that game, but I could tell it's not complete for it. Had more stuff. I played that game and it just felt like it's a repeat cycle. But I know they're gonna drop more content, but it's just about. I just want to. Is this generation? I'm all in for it. I want to dive, but my whole thing is you have to be cautious with these corporations, Microsoft and Sony, because Sony is like a cat against the wall. They just throwing stuff, seeing what sticks, so they can say go. Microsoft just got money, and they don't know which direction they want to go. 1 minute they this way, 1 minute that way. They buying all these developers and stuff like that, so they could make all these different types of games and put into Game Pass. So this is their new direction that they're going in. And the only thing that I'm seeing is back in 2013 when they was trying to introduce DRM, people couldn't accept it when they was going to let you share on game share with 10 people.
Yeah.
So when you change the math and you change the numbers around, if you couldn't do DRM that way, and if you see how they're doing it now with all these online games, and now the other way to bring into the situation is Game Pass. So hitting with Game Pass, you still be able to monitor the games the way you want to monitor them, and you bringing it. So it's like we going in the same direction that they was going in. It's just a different loop around. So I just want to kind of sit back when it comes to a person that they want. But if I have to wait for the PlayStation 5 past February, I mean, Sony, y'all just lost y'all a customer, because I was really just trying to just go into, because I'm going to be a part of my community. I'm not, if I couldn't play the Xbox no more, yes, I would purchase the Xbox, but by Phil Spencer's give me the option to still be a part of the community, I don't have to dive day one with the Xbox, but if I can't get that 5.
Fair enough, man. Good points indeed. And I think I was feeling the same way as you for a little while myself. Man, let's just catch up with the chat real quick, because we got a lot of numbers up in here, just scrolling up through. We got Dreadpool is in the house. What's going on, Dread? He drops a 1. Psychonauts a 1. We got Stu rolls a 1 and 2, so he's getting both. Free Jack's got a 1. Crazy Greek just got 1. Pong Soul 1 and 2. Custodes 1. J Slayer J 1. Brand the Don says 3. We didn't have a 3 option, but I'm guessing that means they just didn't get one. Infinite 3. VJ says 4. Wars is 1. Axel 1324 4 didn't get one. Infinite. Oh yeah, no. I said. Oh right, 3 was if you're getting both. Right? Yes, 3 was both. 4, I guess, if you didn't get one. Infinite 3 and 2. Captain Crunch, he says 0 waiting. Joe Dunmore gave us a 3. Fun speculation. He's got 1, 2, and 3 in there, I think, or something. So there's a lot of. We got Audible. Oh, there's another good name in the chat. Audible Fart 507. Have an Audible Fart.
Great name.
Great name. Audible Fart. Jesse Derby, what's happening, brother? Jay Slayer J is hanging out with us. Captain Crunch, VJ, Juan Castillo, Marlesco, Draven Arrow, Spider-Man 356, Timothy Dixon, Joe Dunmore is here. Yeah, we got a good crew here, man. Thanks for being here. Before we get into the next topic, I guess it is just about that time since we're halfway through the show. It is time to ask Arnold. So we'll let the panel go first with questions for Arnold. While you guys in the chat can think up something creative. I want to try to limit the questions, guys, to no more than 5 maximum, just because I want to keep the show rolling along. So I'll try to do as best you can. So drop a question for Arnold. I'll let the chat go. I'll let the panel go first if they got something interesting wanted to ask Arnie. Maybe one of our guests got one. You got one, Meg? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got one. Yes, Arnold. What runs hotter, the Xbox Series X or your body after working out?
Well, it's definitely got to be my body after working out. I get out and come out of the sweat and the sauna and everything, and I'm already hot. But it's awesome. But the Xbox Series X, it's a pretty hot console. It's hot to look at. It's hot to run the games on it. You could almost cook eggs over the top on that thing. But it's going to be great. But nothing gets as hot as what I get when I'm starting to flex my pectorals, and I got the sexy girls that rolling around the gym, in the yoga pants or the tight bottoms. That's great. It's out on the roll.
There you go. Anybody else on the panel?
Nobody else on the panel, but I got one in the chat.
No in the chat. All right, let's catch up with the chat.
I got one.
Yeah,
Axel 1324. Arnold, will the T1000 liquid metal terminate the heat of the PS5?
Well, absolutely. It's going to terminate the heat. It's going to terminate your whole console. You're going to wake up in the morning and it's going to look like you got silver mush all over the place. It's going to look like somebody jizzed. The T1000 got a little too excited and it came all over the place. It's going to be liquid puss is what you're going to get in there. But it will cool it off, but you won't have any more PlayStation.
Any more questions?
Regulator 951. Arnold, what do you think about blowing in the PS5 controller?
I've been blowing into it for days already, and I've expanded my actual chest cavity. So what I've been doing is I've been telling all of my swimming buddies, the guys who are preparing for the Olympics, this is how you control your breathing. You're going to get your stamina up. And if nothing else, all of the girls that I know, oh my God, they are going to be amazing when they go downstairs on you, because they're going to be able to blow you into the next century. It is that next gen blowing experience. Get the PlayStation 5 if you want to be blown away.
Oh my God, I got another one. Great one from the chat, if you don't mind. Psychonauts 8. Hey Arnold, who will win in a fight, you or Asian Elton John?
The dude is going to have me beat anyway, because I'm going to be so distracted from laughing at this puny little guy that he'll just come up to me and probably smack me in the balls, and I'll be rolling around on the ground and be like, what the fuck you doing? You don't fight fair. Just go back to your little hole and you just keep blowing into the controller in the corner.
All right, we'll take another one. Last one.
Everybody's just putting laugh emojis. No one's asking questions.
Yeah.
Anything from you, Triple Cup?
Hey, what about this? Kid, what about the Xbox Series X or the Xbox Series S? Which one you think that you're put most of your effort into or most time into?
Well, if you know me, I never really like coming second place. So the Series S, that can go kiss an asshole. I don't want it. I don't want anything inferior. I want the best gameplay. I want the best graphics. I want the best performance. Look, when I used to get up against Lou Ferrigno and all of those guys back in the day, I would get up there with confidence and I'd flex my pipes, and they knew they could not beat me. And that is the way Xbox is going in here. They're not about the sales, but they know they have got the biggest, the most powerful console, and they're going to come out swinging. And if you don't like their ass, they're going to give you Game Pass. They're going to shove it down your throat, give it to you for a great price. You're going to want it. You're going to need it. You're going to want the best experience. And that is when you go out there and you have to get the Xbox, the Series X.
Oh, great.
There you go. Lots of great questions, guys.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
We'll take if you didn't get your question answered this week, man, you can always save them for next week, guys. We will be back same time, same place, all that good stuff. So yeah, it's enough of the questions. We got to keep the show moving along. We still got a few topics. Just getting into some gaming stuff again. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, an official revealed trailer. This was actually one of my favorite Need for Speed games. So my question for you guys on the panel is, I mean, are you even remotely excited about this? And what was your favorite Need for Speed game, if any? Like, do you think this is a franchise that's overstayed its welcome? Can it bounce back? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of stiff racing games. There's a very crowded genre now. Like, it's not a big genre per se. I mean, a lot less racing games come out than say shooters and stuff. But like, racing games are so similar, like a lot of sports games. It's very hard to kind of like crack open a very successful game, no matter how good they look. I mean, we saw like the Project, what do you call it? Project Cars and stuff like that.
Whatever,
you know, some people loved it, but it never really did strike a nerve. Never did really hit the sales. Same success. We saw how games that were really big on the 360 stuff like Grid did find the same success now. You know, and Need for Speed's kind of been up, down, up, down, up, down. So how do you feel about it? I want to start with my co-host Mag on this one because I know maybe you're like me. You love Hot Pursuit. I love the original Hot Pursuit. Like the one that came out on the 360 a few years ago. I thought that game was fucking dynamite.
I loved it.
So how do you think about this one?
Well, you know what? I watched a couple of gameplay videos of it because some of the guys got a little early, and man, it looks really, really good. And I mean, it's a nice departure from your Forza and Gran Turismo. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you get to play a cop once in a while, and you get to smash up the cars, or you get to be the guy driving away from them or whatever, from the cops or whatever. And man, those games were action packed. I mean, you remember they even had the helicopters chasing you down and stuff, right? I thought it was fantastic. Anyways, love that game. As for this, I'm going to go with the Game Pass syndrome. And I'm going to say I'm going to wait because now that EA Play is in Game Pass, it might show up in Game Pass in the spring,
right?
Let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, I'll already have an Xbox Series X. So I'm going to get the absolute best graphics, best everything, best performance, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to wait for that. And again, like I said, that's a very, like I said, Game Pass syndrome kind of deal where I'm not going to pull the trigger on the game. And all of a sudden in April, it's in EA Play and EA Play is in Game Pass. And, boom, there you go. Right. Speaking of EA Play, by the way, now I know that I used to be a member of it and I canceled it because I basically played everything on there. And they don't really add a lot. It's not like Game Pass where they add every month, especially not with the frequency it does. But anyhow, the point is they gave you those 10-hour trials, right? You remember that for new games, except for Jedi Fallen Order, but they'll give you those 10-hour trials. My question is, will those 10-hour trials for new games show up on Game Pass as part of EA Play? I'm just curious because I have heard nothing about it.
I'm guessing it might.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know.
Part of that system, right? It's part of that.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll find
system,
out.
So,
unless they move who the hell knows what they're up to. But anyways, that was just a question I had. So I think I'm going to wait on it until I get the Series X, and then I'm also going to hang fire just in case it shows up on EA Play and Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
So I'll do that. But my God, that game was good. As for my favorite Need for Speed of all time, I've got to go tie for first place with Hot Pursuit and the first Need for Speed Underground. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah,
that was when. Yeah, it was amazing. What's that, brother?
You think it was better than 2?
I did like it better than 2. I like the first one better than 2. I don't know why. That's just me. But that was right at the height of I think it was the first two or 3 Fast and Furious movies, right? So it was all the craze. Yeah, that was the big craze. It was like the early 2000s or like 2003, 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. And Underground came out, and man, was that game a big hit. As for why these games, something Noof touched on, is that a lot of these games like Grid, Project Cars, Need for Speed being up and down, the reason why is because they're not doing as well now is because the pedigree has been raised so high. The bar's been raised so high by Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon and a much, much lesser extent Gran Turismo. But the bars have been raised so high that people don't even look at those games anymore. That's like someone coming out with a different football game when you know that Madden is like basically, the thing. And even if it's not great, like Triple Cup Chuck was saying, it's not really that great this year, but everybody knows the name. It's a brand name, right? So I think that Forza and Gran
everybody
Turismo
bought it anyway.
Right. And Forza and Gran Turismo are a name now. And they're going to go Grid. What the fuck is Grid? I don't know. What's Grid? You don't know what it is. But back then, Forza and Gran Turismo did not have a stranglehold like they do now. So, I mean, I know Gran Turismo always did well, but not like it is now. So, I don't know.
I
That's
wish
just me.
Forza wasn't so popular because I'd love to see Microsoft bring back Project Gotham Racing, which I don't think is
That's
happening
right.
anymore. But PGR4, oh my freaking god, with the bikes and the cars, is still one of my favorite games of all time when it comes to racers.
Didn't that launch on the 360 as like
It
a?
did.
I think I got it as a package deal. It came packaged in like a
Mhm.
bundle or whatever. It had Project Gotham Racing in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fucking
those
game was
games
great,
are
man.
nuts, man.
Yep.
Nuts. Yeah, Bizarre. I think it was Bizarre Creations. I think was the studio behind those, and they did some crazy racers for their time. Tokyo
Wow.
Extreme Race. I remember that one. Yeah, on the Dreamcast. Yeah, but okay, let's get some more opinions on this Need for Speed. I mean, bottom line, though, Mag, like Need for Speed. Where do you feel it sits? And like, do you think is it a tired franchise at this point, or do you think that EA just doesn't mind because the franchise is known so much? You just kind of, if you just keep throwing them out there, eventually you're going to find a successful one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, if it's making them money, you know what I mean? It must be making them something because there's been a resurgence over the last couple of years. Remember when they took a little bit of a break?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just a couple of years, 2-3 years that they just kind of disappeared. They kind of came back and they seem to be doing something. I mean, EA would not publish these games unless they were making them something, some kind of money, you know? So, you know, and even the remaster, they must be making some kind of money somewhere. So obviously somebody's buying them and playing them. So, you know, you're not going to just keep throwing money at lost causes. So,
right. True.
You know, there obviously is a market for it. It just might not be a huge market like it used to be when there was barely any serious competition. Because you remember back then, like I was saying, early 2000s, Need for Speed was the name in racing.
Yes.
You know, you got a Need for Speed was coming out. Everybody was excited about it. But now, like I said, you got that bigger competition with the, you know, much higher pedigree and everything else. You know, people aren't looking at Need for Speed anymore. Not interested.
So your favorite Need for Speed game overall, what would you say it is?
Still, I'm going with Underground and Hot Pursuit.
Okay, perfect.
I'm tied for first place. That's it.
Triple Cup. How do you feel about the Need for Speed franchise, brother? You into those games at all?
Yeah, Hot Pursuit was one of my favorites. My thing about it is I think it was like growing up playing Need for Speed, it gave you more of a rush. Like you'll just be driving and you're just going, you're flying over hills and like you'll go like making jumps and stuff like that. The police will be right behind you and you'll see them start coming in your lane and they'll barely start coming in. You'll be speeding and everything going fast. See, Need for Speed now, they need to go back into that, lean into the rush, the feeling of just that throttle. Because I played the last two Need for Speeds. What's the last two or last three of them? Well, they had a story mode. One of them tried to use like real actors and cut scenes from real people. Pulled me out the game a little bit, but I get that concept. If they would have kind of brushed up and made it look a little more seamless, I think that could have worked and made it more open world and police chase you down. And it just gave you more of a Grand Theft Auto film. They need to be more into that direction because Forza and Gran Turismo, they got the driving simulation down. Need for Speed, it needs to have it where you want to do some Fast and the Furious speed things like that Fast and the Furious game that's coming out. They gonna actually Need for Speed should have been doing like lean into what people want to do is have fun and go fast and just do and you can make the game is uniqueness because you would never top out Forza right now. Hands down, them are mechanics that's working on that game. Them is top of the line mechanics working on Forza. So you is not gonna get more more technical than them. So they need to go into the jumping out buildings, do anything that make a person feel like, oh, this is fun. Jumping through on top of trains, driving on trains, jumping up, just do stuff like that and make it feel like you just doing 1,000 miles an hour. If Speed don't do that, it's gonna be dead in the water because it's like y'all said, it's saturated. I mean, there's only a handful of games right now. People it can come out right now. What's that game with Sweet Tooth?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. Now a game like that, a different type of racing game, stuff like that. That's what need to come out because you cannot Forza and Forza Motorsports is nothing on the top of that game when it comes to simulation. So ain't nothing need to get in this direction.
Yeah, well, War in the chat, he's got a great point. Forza needs cops. I mean, I don't see that happen with, say, the standardized Turn 10 Forza, but with the playground version, I definitely could see room for cops where you get more of that
Horizon.
stuff. Maybe have some heists or something where you and your buddies got to outrun the cops, and I think that would be pretty nuts. And even if there was more multiplayer modes like that, where some multiplayer guys would be the cops and some other multiplayer guys would be the outlaws and be outrunning, that'd be cool. And you know what they also need in some of those racing games? They should do like Forza Horizon with the Legends, the movie TV show Legends racers, like have like the old great cars and trucks from the fantastic TV shows and movies and be able to use those as like DLC or something. I think that would be freaking dynamite. You imagine me like in the A-Team van or something like that, or you know what I mean, the Knight Rider car or Fall Guy truck, you know what I mean? Stuff like that in the game would be dynamite too, I think.
Yeah. Transformers. Put some Transformers in there. Now
that'd be cool.
That'll take it to a different level. Optimus Prime DLC. But Need for Speed, I don't think it's gonna go nowhere because it got a following where it sell enough to keep them from above water, I guess. But it's just not a franchise that's gonna
So, what was your favorite of the Need for Speed games overall?
The Underground.
The Underground.
Yeah,
on the original Xbox, right?
No, on the second one.
Was it Underground? Was that on 3? No, it wasn't on 360. Was it Underground? Need for Speed 1 and 2. Those came out on the original Xbox and the PS2, though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was the PlayStation I played that one on.
Yes, indeed. Gotcha. Squirrely, how about you, man? Do you feel the need for speed?
Listen, I can't talk too much about racing games as I'm sitting in my GT Omega racing sim rig right now. Playing SnowRunner. I mean, not exactly a racing game, but a driving game. I mean, Need for Speed games have always been pretty fun. I mean, they've gotten kind of washed up, but I mean, it's kind of hard to always reinvent yourself and outdo yourself. It's impossible to do that all the time, right? So I always kind of look at them as these are just arcade fun racers. I don't try to get too invested. If I want racing sim and something to push the limits of what could be done for a racing game, I'll play Forza and other like rally games and stuff like that, like some Dirt Rally and stuff like that, right? So I've always enjoyed Need for Speed games. I mean, like Middle Age said, actually both these guys, Hot Pursuit and Underground were some of the best. They're some of the funnest. The fact that they're redoing is it a remake or like a remaster or what's up? Like, is it a complete overhaul of?
Yeah, it's the same game, I think, with completely revised, like the current kind of Need for Speed style of graphics. I think. Yeah,
it looks pretty amazing. Like it looks incredible.
Okay, so they're remaking the Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, if they're doing a complete remake, I'll be all in on that.
Probably new cars in there too, right? Because obviously,
what was that?
A lot of new vehicles,
new stuff.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, yeah, but you can't.
Fun too. That one was pretty cool too. Hey, say no, I know it's a little bit.
You can't
remember Driver.
Through what?
They on the game
Driver.
Driver, yeah.
I mean, Driver was awesome.
It was those two games was my two go-to racing games besides for Grand Theft Auto before that became before Grand Theft Auto 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
The Driver and Need for Speed was that next level racing where you felt like they was going to the Driver, you can get out your car as the person, and Need for Speed you felt like it gave you that next level. Now Need for Speed, they don't give you that next level feel like how they used to, and give you that rush. It was something with Need for Speed. I always just felt like after you finish a match, it was like you was holding your breath, and just as soon as you finish, you're like, ooh.
But I think too, back in the day, like when those games came out, having those new graphics and the new systems always it blew you away because that's the first time you'd seen something that could push like this. Nowadays, we're used to, CG everything. So it's kind of hard to blow you away when you're desensitized to what's awesome.
Right.
I mean, let's just talk about Midnight Club for a second. Let's bring that back.
Oh man,
Midnight Club was 3, the dub edition.
I mean, I love that one.
Game. Yeah, Rockstar Games with that.
I used to have a jam with that. I don't know.
Burnout Revenge. Woo.
Burnout. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Burnouts
I
are
mean,
good. Shit.
for me, here's the problem, right? Like Need for Speed obviously has a place, in the upper echelon of games, and they haven't really had bad games. They've just kind of some were really good and people gravitated to, and some not so much. But I think Need for Speed has also been very guilty of pulling the Assassin's Creed card, where you get a game almost every single year. People just when you squeeze out a Need for Speed game right in the middle of, say, some of the biggest shooters and some of the biggest action games, let's face it, guys, racing games kind of get pushed off to the side. I think we all love them. There's a special place for racing games in our collections, and we do play them, but they're not exactly the games that you see the community gravitate to. I mean, if I go on my Xbox or my PlayStation, like I bet you 95% of the time, I never see one of my friends hardly playing a racer. When they play them the first couple of weeks they're out, and after that, nothing. No, everybody's back to the same old, right? And I think the problem with Need for Speed over the years, and like you said, racing games are hard because it's a genre that, like, it's hard to reinvent itself because your star of the show is either the tracks or the cars. There really is no story unless Need for Speed's been trying to pull it off over the years, like Chuck said, with the cinematics and the stories around it. And you're sort of, you're not just going from racetrack to racetrack and stuff trying to be first place. Obviously, it's part of it, but they're trying to add stuff to it. And I dig that. But I think the problem is Need for Speed struggles with an identity crisis because it feels like they don't know what they want to be anymore. And it also feels like they don't want to take, like back in the day, Need for Speed was kind of the racer that a lot of other racers copied, right? Mm-hmm. Up until about Gran Turismo come out, and then a lot of people tried to be Gran Turismo. Now it's like everybody's Need for Speed feels like they're trying to copy everybody else. They're trying to take the best parts of this racer and that racer, and that sort of thing. And I don't even know, like a lot of the times they've handed it off to different studios too. I think Black Box, I think, was one of the original developers, I think, that did Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I think it was them. Last couple I think they've had was a Ghost. I think it's Ghost something Studios.
Yeah,
they kind of gone back and forth over the years, and some of their devs have taken some of the guys from like those studios, like Bizarre Creations and stuff. They've had them come in to help out. So I think, for me, if I look at my favorite, I think Hot Pursuit was definitely, and that was the one that came out on the 360. I thought that was just an amazing game back in the day. And the 360 one, there was one before that too. I think it came out on the original, I think it was on the original Xbox, the Hot Pursuit or whatever it was. Because the Hot Pursuit that came on 360 was essentially like a newer version of the one that came out on PS2, GameCube, and Xbox, right? But I love the newer version of Hot Pursuit. They were both good, but the newer version, and Most Wanted, right at the start of the 360 generation, that cops and robbers thing, nobody really had done it that well up to that point, was fantastic. I like what Triple Cup said too, like games like Driver. There's been just so many, and that's the thing. There's so many flood of them now, and there's so many different types. You got your simulations, your arcade ones. You got your, over the top stuff. I just bought Wreckfest recently. I haven't even put it in my console yet. I can't wait to try it out. People tell me it's awesome.
Man.
So yeah, there's just so many. I don't know. I just think Need for Speed has a place, but I don't know if it's right up on the high radars for most people anymore.
I might have to try that Wreckfest. I haven't jumped into that just because I've been waiting and holding out, wishing that they would bring back a Destruction Derby as a proper Destruction Derby game. I don't know how good Wreckfest is, if it's more arcadey, because Destruction Derby was just you in a pit, right? Survive to the end. And that was just phenomenal back in the day. So I don't know if Wreckfest is more, I don't know, toony or not. Like if it is as serious as a Destruction Derby game, but maybe I'll look into it more. But I got niche for that stuff.
I got it. I can't wait. Everybody I've talked to said it's actually amazing, actually.
Yeah,
the level of destruction is awesome. Like Destruction Derbies back in the day were good, but graphics have come a long way since those ones.
Oh man, I fucking miss that game.
Let's give a shout out to the chat because we got Back from the Dead. We got Iceman LMH is in the house. What's going on? Fun speculation. Regulator still hanging on his 951. Angel Floors gaming differently. Cerebral Paul, what's up, Cerebral? Thanks for being there, brother. Yeah, there's a good face in the chat. Yeah, man, I'll definitely hit you up, Paul, for some Wreckfest, baby. I love racing. And that's the thing with racing games too, right? Like it's just like sometimes you do them for community game night, and there's such a refreshing change of pace and just constantly shooting people. But the only thing I always had when I play racing games, community game night, there are guys out there like game down sites and a few guys that I know from, online, and some of these guys are really good at these games. Like, they know how to mod their cars, they know, you know what I mean? And you get in there, and after so many races, it starts to get kind of dull because it's like one or two guys just win every race. They're off the fucking hop, they're like beating you through the first 3 turns, and it's like, what's the fucking fun in that? Like, when guys are overlapping you and you're 30 seconds behind trying to cross the finish line. Like, yeah, like it's
well,
fun.
You just got to race stock cars, right? Like, no personal cars.
Yeah.
Keep it level playing field.
Iceman plays them. Yeah, like a lot of those guys, UK Daz, he plays them. Like, some of those guys are really fucking good. I know Stick Figure and them there are a couple, but last year, the year before, they were doing like these time challenges, and I was like, I wasn't even going to try. I was like, it's going to take me fucking hours to even compete with those guys, because they're just like, doing everything. But anyway, I don't want to get off topic, guys. I think we all agree that Need for Speed still has a place, and I am relatively excited about a new Hot Pursuit remake, I guess you could say, or remaster, or whatever they want to call it. So, yeah. So let's.
Can I just add something real quick?
Go ahead.
Stay on topic with that the racing game. Listen, They need to bring back a new MTV music generator. Okay.
So, speaking of games, and this is just an odd one, I know Crash 4, apparently reports say Crash 4 just came out like last week, I think it was, and it's apparently selling like 85% more copies on PlayStation 4. So it's a great question. I want to ask the panel and the people in the chat, guys, and be honest if you are, because I brought this up a while back, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but even Meg kind of basically proved my point, because Meg was saying about the game. What game were we talking about? Not the Need for Speed one, but you were saying.
Oh, damn it! What the hell was it?
You were saying something earlier about something. If it comes to Game Pass, you might buy it. Which game was that?
Well, I know
you said Need for Speed. You said
no,
EA
Need for
Play.
Speed because of the EA Play thing. Yeah.
Right. So the first thing you said, and that's what struck me in this, because I knew we were bringing this topic up, is you said, well, maybe I'm going to wait till, maybe it goes in EA Play and it shows up on Game Pass. And this is what I'm saying. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. How do you guys feel about it? Because Crash selling 85% on PS4 versus Xbox. So do you think it's a case where just Xbox guys look at a game like that now and go, we'll see what happens with Game Pass? You think that? I mean, it's Activision. I don't know how many games from Activision are in there, but you're starting to wonder, and I don't know if that's a good thing when you're trying to promote certain things. Anybody can take the floor on this one. And let's do the super chat first. Regulator 951 drops $1.99. Friday the 13th community game night will be epic. Don't have that game, but maybe if I do, I'll join you.
I think the Game Pass. I was thinking about that too, playing Friday the 13th for game, because it's Halloween month.
Yep.
Y'all do Halloween in Canada?
Of course, man.
I don't know. What are you
talking about? What is this pagan religion?
Well, maybe not this year. Shit.
Yeah. We're going to be told whether we're allowed to Halloween or not.
Yeah.
Pretty much. One good thing is we're going to all have masks on.
Yeah.
Everybody's dressed the same. Like a fucking scrub nurse.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm going to take the floor on that question.
Yeah,
Game Pass one.
On it. Yeah, do you think
I think Game Pass,
that's the case?
Yeah, I think Game Pass has actually got a lot of people thinking, do I spend that money? Like, I didn't buy Doom Eternal, and like King David over on the ILP said, like, he was waiting out because he knew full well it was coming. And I mean, I felt it too. And I was like, man, I'm not going to drop the money, because sure as shit, it's going to come to Game Pass. I feel like everything is eventually. So it's had me not buying a lot of games recently, because I'm like, fuck, it's probably just going to come to Game Pass. So, I mean, but I thought only Xbox players played cartoony games anyway. Sony players don't play cartoony.
Yeah, but Crash Bandit is kind of anonymous with the PlayStation just by.
It is too. Yeah, it's got the history of it.
I mean, there on Xbox gaming is not really, it's like certain games when you see it, it's just anonymous with the system, even if it's not exclusive to the system. And like Xbox gamers, like what's that game? Kingdom Hearts, right? I know it came to the from the PlayStation to the Xbox, but it's not really an Xbox citrus game. Even Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy is a big game, but you got games like that is more catered to the PlayStation. So you might see more gamers that purchase a PlayStation, the type of games they play would be more focused on those type of games. With Xbox gamers, the type of games that we play, even with shooters or racers, or even with the adventure games, like you could kind of see the fluctuation of when it comes to Japanese RPG or anything that's like that, is more prone to sell more on the PlayStation, just on the type of gamers they are. So with Crash Bandicoot, I'm seeing more just united with PlayStation more than anything. So if it's so, that's about right.
Yeah, and if you ask like anybody who's been around gaming for long enough, and you said first console that comes to mind, Crash Bandicoot, you're going to say PlayStation. I mean, if you've been around for any length of time, I mean, honestly, I was kind of like, oh, Crash Bandicoot. I was like, why isn't that just on PlayStation? When I saw it. So I mean, it's just like he says, just one of those games. You see Crash, you're like, oh, that's PlayStation for sure. It's got it all over the.
You see the marketing. You see a big PlayStation logo on everything with Crash Bandicoot. Like anything that you see, go on YouTube right now, and if you see any YouTubers, they're gonna have Crash Bandicoot with a PlayStation.
Yeah, with the PlayStation.
They'll do the same thing with Spider-Man and 2K.
They don't cut the PlayStation off at the end of the commercials when it's a PlayStation.
No, man. I see a lot of YouTubers use the PlayStation logo in their commercial or on their videos before they'll play like multiplayer stuff to say, I'm playing this on the PlayStation, or this is the PlayStation. Even if it's sponsored by the Xbox, or the thumbnails that be on the pictures will have the PlayStation version of it. Like I was watching some Avengers, like some tips and stuff like that, like or who coming down the line. But every time you see the people that's speaking about the Avengers, their thumbnail is always PlayStation Avengers. And it's like, you know, the PlayStation symbol right under the Avengers, symbolizing it to so people, when they say, oh, the Avengers, they got it for the PlayStation, so they make a person that even if they have both consoles, they'll automatically just kind of assume Crash Bandicoot, like they might not, you know, be up to date with everything, casuals. And if they want Crash Bandicoot, first thing they think of is the PlayStation. That's why they grab it. So the 80 to 20% is more like with the casuals, and 20% with the Xbox. You have more like hardcore players, and then you have some casuals that might have ran across the Crash Bandicoot and said, "Oh, that's the Crash Bandicoot. Let me get that." And that's probably where the line probably drawn at with the whole Crash Bandicoot and the Xbox PlayStation situation.
Yeah. Let's just get a feeling from the chat. Did anybody in the chat? I know Iceman said he bought Crash and he picked it up for the Xbox. Did anybody else buy the new game? I mean, some people got really excited for it. I know I bought the remastered for my Xbox. Like, when did it come out? 2 years ago, a year ago, something like that. So I bought that one. I've only played the first game in it, and like I said, it's hard as fuck at some places. So I didn't really get any further than that. Enjoy it though. But so yeah, did anybody in the chat buy the Crash game? One, if you bought Crash for an Xbox. Two, if you bought it on PlayStation. How about anybody in the chat? Did anybody pick it up?
I'd rather play Battletoads.
Nice. Squirrely, I'm guessing that's a no.
That's a hard no, for sure.
Hard no. Mag?
No, I didn't bother.
See? There you go. Yeah. If it goes to Game Pass, will you play it?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, I'm already paying for the service, but right. I have a possible theory as to why I was selling more. And I mean, other than the fact that yes, it is very synonymous with PlayStation, but I also do believe that there's a possibility that because of Game Pass on Xbox, a lot of younger gamers who would be, let's say, a little bit more enticed to play like a platformer, a lot of them on Xbox are playing Game Pass. Because there's literally hundreds, not 100, by the way. There's hundreds of games on there, and parents aren't buying them games. I haven't bought my kids a game, and I don't know how long. It's got to be like 2 years now, because I don't have to. Because everything that they want to play or are going to play, if it's not Fortnite, is on Game Pass. They can find something on there, right? And they always do, and they always release new stuff, right? So there's that. On the PlayStation side of things, it's not as good, and it's certainly not as simple. And so I'm thinking that maybe a lot of younger gamers, they would have purchased it, or maybe that's their MO, is to purchase games at full price, right? Where, you know, that's kind of like the culture, the old school culture is still strong on the Sony side. Whereas now what's happening on the Microsoft side is that now everybody's kind of hanging back, just like you're saying, everybody's hanging back waiting for Game Pass to see what Game Pass has got to offer. Because now they're getting used to that structure, that model of service. right? Whereas PlayStation is still,
Right.
you get your thing, you get your game, you pay your price, you get, and that's all there is to it. You know, whether physical or digital. And that's the only thing I could think of is that, like I said, because people are starting to become complacent,
Right.
and they're starting to fall in line with the games, with the service, with the the monthly service, as
it's
opposed
way
to just
too
buying a game.
it's
I'm
way
just trying
too
to figure
convenient
out-
not to.
I really want to hear a game. I really like, and I'm going to ask this question too because I'll talk to you guys later. I got a great interview coming up on Monday the 12th with a developer who makes the new retro. Have you guys heard of Retro Mania Wrestling? It's coming out real soon for PlayStation, Xbox. Okay,
Man.
so I've got the lead director. I'm going to be interviewing him on Monday. It's a one-on-one. I'm going to be asking him that. About his game and about like how he would feel if it went into a Game Pass kind of scenario. And I mean, I know it might be different for indies, but here's the deal, Mag. And you're a professional chef, right?
Yes.
So Mag, so say you put your blood, sweat, and tears, you make up this fantastic recipe and you put out this phenomenal fucking steak, like it's one of the best steaks you've ever eaten in your life.
Mhm.
But the people that come into your store, they know, I'm gonna wait till fucking that one day of the month because Mag puts a steak on for $15.99 instead of $29.99. Like, obviously, yeah, it's a great promotion and you're gonna sell probably a lot of steaks on that day. But how would you feel a little bit insulted that people won't pay premium price for your amazing steak when it's worth every ounce? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm wondering how the game guys feel when they're like, we're going to put it out on PlayStation and guys got no choice but to go buy it for the $60, where the Xbox crowd's going, I get it with game. And I had this thing, but I said that when the Gears came out, I'm like, see, back in the day when the Gears game fucking came out, there wasn't no him and her Han. There wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts. People fucking bought Gears and they didn't care. They'd buy the physical copy and get it in Game Pass back in the day. But now I had a lot of people when Gears 5 came out like, well, it's a good thing it's a Game Pass because I don't know if I would have bought it. And that kind of bothers me. And I know it shouldn't, but it kind of does. You know what I'm saying? How would you feel in that perspective?
You're absolutely right. I mean, 100% you're right. That is a good analogy. But I think it's what's happening now is that we're caught in the middle of a shift. Just like we were talking about earlier in the show about the movie theaters and at home digital, I think that we're in the middle of that shift in market. And what's happening now is that people are hanging back. People aren't making as. I mean, let's face it. Especially now, people are not making as much money as they were before.
Yeah.
And now, on top of that, add to that, wait till 2-3 years from now when you've got Elder Scrolls 6 coming to Game Pass. And God knows what else, right? And Avowed and all these other games, Fable and some other future Gears game, Halo Infinite. These are all first-party games, and they're all coming to Game Pass day one. And God knows who else they acquire between now and then, right? They could get some other big studios, developers, whatever, right? So they'll all end up in Game Pass day one. So if people are like, if I don't have to pay for Elder Scrolls 6 and Fable and Avowed and this and that and whatever, why would I pay for this now?
Right.
And that's what's happening. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. And I do feel for the developers. But at the same time, though, it's not like the developers are being thrown out on their ass. They're getting a lot of money out of the back end, so they're still making their money. But I'm saying from a personal ego point of view, I could see that being hurtful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like from a personal point of view. But business side, they're still getting their asses covered, regardless. But yeah, I could see it like on a personal level. Yeah, okay, you'd be a little bit, your ego gets bruised a little bit. You'd be like, come on, man, no one wants to buy this game. We put a lot of years into this or whatever. And they're all just sitting back waiting for that $15 a month. Right? Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just my feeling on it. So,
but more have a game, that means more people can purchase DLC. I mean, it's how people they got the free games and they make all these millions of dollars for people buying calisthenics and stuff like that, just different things and stuff.
Yeah.
A game that might have wouldn't have sold well, people will play. Like Luke was saying about the wrestling game. Like that's a game that I was interested in. I know some of my friends might not be that interested in, but if it's on Game Pass, and let's say even if I purchase it and then all of a sudden it come to Game Pass, they'll say, "Oh, that game look fun." We get in there and get to playing it. Now they might like it, and they would say, "Well, I want this character here," or they want to boost up to my level because I've been playing it already. So they are paid to boost their character to catch up to what level I'm at sometimes. So a lot of times it kind of balance off. It's like
right,
lose some,
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, any exposure and the more people you get playing your product is always a good thing, right? Because even if it is, you go to use the restaurant scenario. So for the fact that it's like, say Mag makes the best steak, but he never puts it on sale, right? It's always full price.
Yeah.
That's going to limit the amount of people that want to go to his restaurant and eat, because it's like, yeah, it's a great steak, but you know what? I got a family and it's not really cost effective for me to go there and eat that steak every week for $30 a pop, right? But if he has a few sales, he gets those people in, they spread the word, they get more people in, right? And that's usually how it works, is that like it's, you're better off selling, 20 steaks sometimes at $15 than you are selling, 12 steaks at $30. You know what I mean? Or 20.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you sell more at less, but you're getting more advertising, more exposure, and then you get more frequent business. And that's the whole point of Game Pass 2, is to get people into spending money frequently about Xbox. They're not spending as much because they're saving a lot, but they're constantly spending. Whereas when you got that fucking one consumer who goes like, and how many gamers do you know too, outside of the hardcore guys, right? If you talk to the average customer, the moms and dads that buy the console for their kids, you look at their game collections outside of Games of Gold or PlayStation Plus, because they get them with the subscriptions. They're buying 2 or 3 games a year. And I think that's the thing that Microsoft wants to change, is they want gamers to play more games. Because, maybe they can't spend $80 on one game, but they'll spend $5 or $10 here and there when they have the money to buy the DLC. And that's why those free-to-play games are killing it. Because even though they're not making $80 on one pop, those games are selling. Those games are being played by millions. And millions of people spending $1.50 is a lot better than fucking selling your game to 20,000 people and making $30. You know what I mean?
It'd be interesting to see for the next gen. Actually, I'm not gonna make a prediction on it at all. I'm just gonna be interested when Game Pass really. I mean, it's already taken off, but when it really gets wings, okay, and really takes off big time, I'm gonna be very curious to see when the PS5 big bangers come out. I want to see if their sales drop. Because people will wait, because people are going to start looking at that Xbox Game Pass situation, and they're like, why am I paying $100 for this? I know they're going to be amazing games. Let's not lie to ourselves, okay? They're going to be incredible games, all right? Sony makes great games. So, but people are going to look at it and go, $100, and I'm sorry, guys, in Canada, it's $100 fucking dollars for PS5 games.
Pretty
it's
close.
89. Hey?
Yeah. Pretty fucking close.
$89.99 plus tax. It works out to like 98 something. Okay, it's $100 a game. This reminds me of like those the Nintendo back in the 90s. That bullshit. Remember that? Anyhow, so the point is this: at $100 a game, they're gonna go, why am I gonna pay $100 when I could spend 15 and get 25 AAA games or whatever? And then they'll look at the PS5 and go, I'll wait for a sale. I'll wait for the summer sale. Like PlayStation does that big sale usually like around July or August, somewhere around there. And then games drop like 30, 40%, 50% off, whatever. That I'm very curious to see if that's going to happen. I wonder if people are going to start starting to open their eyes a little bit and go, $100. Why? I could just do this over here, and they'll wait for those sales. You know, that like I said, it's just an interesting little thing to put aside. Let's put it in a box. Okay. We're going to put it in the closet, and in a couple of years, let's revisit that question. And you never know. We'll see where it goes, but I'm very curious to see where that's going to go.
Or somebody buy the game on the PlayStation. But if you have an Xbox and Game Pass, you get it for free. So you go buy this game day one on the PlayStation or get it free for the Xbox. A lot of games, like people talking about having a game like Microsoft buying these companies like Bethesda and talking about exclusives. I'm a person that I don't mind if the PC get an opportunity to play it, if Nintendo and PlayStation or Xbox. I'm not a person. I want this exclusive for me. I'm like, I don't mind if other people get to play it, but I like the fact when Microsoft get it, they say, okay, y'all can have it, but y'all can pay 50, 60. And y'all case, you know what I'm saying? My prayers go out to y'all having to pay $100 for a game. Because it'll kind of, put a different perspective in your mind. What, sometimes you might say, you can't just purchase 3 and 4 games, because that's $300 coming out your pocket. That adds up. So when you look at
Game Pass doesn't cost me that for the year.
Right. So you look at situations like, hey, so why would I worry about exclusive? As long as I can get the content, I'm happy. Put it in game.
Exactly. I don't care where it goes.
Pay for it. Y'all pay 50, 60, 80, $100. I get it for free. So
I'll tell
that's
you right now, New's ass is on fire because he's a physical guy and he's and I was with you, Newf. I'm like, Game Pass is a shit, and this coming up Jan, I'm like, all the bangers, because I'm looking at my collection, and because Microsoft is doing digital so good, most of my Xbox games are digital, but I've got all my PlayStation games physical. One, I don't trust Sony with my credit card, and two, I just wait them for like PS Gold or whatever when they go on their deals there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think next gen, I'm kind of going to go back a little bit and try to pick up the games that I know I want to keep as a physical. But like a lot of the other stuff that I'm like, yeah, I'll play it. I'm just going to use my Game Pass for it. But even though, like, when Elder Scrolls comes out, like, I'm going to want that physical. Because if the internet shits the bed one day and I've got no internet access, I live in Yellowknife, the internet goes down all the fucking time. I want to be able to still stick in my disc and play the game.
Yeah. And, but that in itself is a problem with a lot of games now. They almost basically
still require
online.
You don't have a way to sign in because of the digital rights management. They want to make sure that it's, you got the game in there. It's a complete fucking bullshit. I think every single game should have the ability to play it in some capacity without an online component. Maybe you just can't afford. Maybe you can't afford internet for fucking 4 months or something. Who the fuck knows?
I ran into that problem. I ran into that problem when I went up to Alert. So Alert, if nobody knows where Alert is, it's like the northernmost inhabited place on the planet of Earth, and it's just a small little Canadian Forces base kind of thing up there. We got a little station, and I went to play Mortal Kombat because I brought my Xbox out there with me, and come hell or high water, I can't play fucking a 2-player 1v1 Mortal Kombat in my room because I can't go online to verify my WB account. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So
that's complete horseshit.
I mean, that shit's already real. Like, so if you're deployed or you're somewhere remote or you're at camp and you can't get online, you can't even play Mortal Kombat with the person sitting beside you because you can't log in.
That's right. You know what? If the internet shits the bed, the only thing you're playing is an NES Classic or with your dick. That's
Dude, I've got the Mini. Yep. I was just going to say I got the NES Mini with like 800 games on it. I'm ready to go.
That's it. That's all you're
ready. Your old fucking school consoles yet, boys.
That's all you're playing. You ain't playing anything from 2015 and on. Yeah.
When the apocalypse fucking comes and you're running on generator.
Without the internet, my Xbox ain't. I went without the internet. And when I ain't had the internet, I turned my Xbox on, and it seemed depressing. It's like it didn't seem, because when the internet come on, it felt alive. Your friends coming on, and you see what games they play.
Shit's all popping up.
Yeah. When you get Xbox One comes on without the internet, it's like fucking 3 blades on there. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know. It looks so barren. You're just
a little banner comes up and says, "What are you, broke? Get the internet."
Yeah.
Get your money right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we know that in this day and age, we're almost always online now. It's it's not even a question anymore. But like I said, you're paying that much money for any product, and you're basically forced to basically use it as a coaster, or just can't access it even from your digital library because it's linked to some fucking bullshit account. I think that's wrong, and they need to fix that. It should always be accessible when you paid for something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring up another point that
go ahead.
A lot of people don't have to deal with that I had to deal with up here. Is I currently pay, it's about like $210 a month, and for the longest time up until very recently it was 400 gigs of data. So it just hit me the other day that when I would update Call of Duty and use 25% of my data, it just hit me. I'm like, you know what? That Call of Duty update just cost me $50 fucking dollars. Wow. Because it was a quarter of my internet for the month, which was $200. So I'm updating games. Now I'm looking at it as I got very limited bandwidth. So this is costing me money to update this fucking game just to find out that when I downloaded the 80 gig update, there was a 70 gig update right fucking behind it. And I was like, yeah, fuck. I'm like, this shit's expensive. So, I mean, this shit's crazy. They should let you buy the disc, put the fucking disc in, and play the game on or offline.
Yeah. Well, I was reading an article I think a lot of games are going to start having the option to install certain parts of the games now. which would be fantastic
Yeah,
with the limited
yeah,
hard drive space we got. So if you don't like campaigns, you don't have to install and I think that's where they're going to have to go if they can't get some of the sizes down, is let people decide what they want to download from that each and every game. Because honestly, I could give a shit about Warzone, but that's the part that takes up all the space on the fucking Call of Duty, and they update that like every time they have a season change or an update.
Yep.
It's Warzone. You got to download this massive
every
thing.
time they fart, they fucking update that thing. It's like another
brutal.
80 gigs.
I said, like, if I find out the new Cold War is the same, if they're pulling the same bullshit,
It's going to be the same
War,
thing.
100% new.
100%. I'm not buying it. I'm not touching it.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
They're going to make it even fucking bigger.
It's too expensive. Yeah.
It's going to be even bigger. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
So let's all just be depressed on that for a minute.
All right. Well, we're going to quickly do one more game here before we get into name that game. So, speaking of big games that came out this week, guys, I don't know how many Star Wars fans we got in the chat and on this panel, but I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. And Star Wars Squadrons kind of came out. You know, this game kind of almost came out of nowhere, too. It felt like Star Wars had kind of fallen some tough times after the Battlefront 2 game, came out and was received kind of poorly at the start. Obviously, kudos to DICE in that game for, they pulled it back in and they've really made it a really different game, and it's a lot better. But obviously, sometimes when it's a little too late, it's a little too late. And while there's still people that play it, the game should have been more like that from the get-go. But they did come up with Star Wars Squadrons. I'm seeing people are having a lot of fun with it. I heard Gaming Forte talk about it. He said it was really good. I'm enjoying it from what I've played so far. I almost wish I had the PlayStation version if I had VR, because playing it in VR would be so cool, but I don't. So I picked it up for Xbox, obviously, and it is pretty good. There you go. Pong Soul in the chat says Squadrons is excellent, well worth the price of admission. Did any of you guys on this panel here pick up a copy? Could you give a shit about it? How do you guys feel? Anybody can take the floor in this one.
I'm not a huge fly guy, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so there's that. But I didn't get it yet. Again, I'm kind of holding off on purchasing anything until I get a next gen console.
Cockpits you don't like.
Yeah, so huge Star Wars fan, but I didn't pull the trigger on this for two reasons. Like I said, I'm waiting for next gen, and the other reason is, guess why? It's an EA game, which made
Game Pass.
And guess where it might end up in the spring, right?
Yeah.
Could end up in Game Pass again.
There we go.
So I'm just like,
waiting for Game.
Fuck, forget it, man. It's over.
Listen,
Okay.
Game Pass just won the fucking war, man.
Let me tell you something. Anything that puts a toe on Microsoft's lawn, I ain't fucking paying full price for it, because it's going to end up. And let me tell you something. Every single game that they have a marketing deal with, you bet your fucking ass it'll be on Game Pass. That includes Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which, by the way, I'm paying because I'm a fucking sucker for Assassin's Creed. I love Assassin's Creed games, all of them. I've 100%ed every Assassin's Creed game, so I'll pay full price for that. CD Projekt Red, you know that Cyberpunk will eventually make it there, but guess what, guys? If it ain't coming at launch, it's coming a year and a half, 2 years from now.
If Mag was a single dude, I could see him with some hooker. He's getting ready to go down. He's like, how much that going to cost? You'd be like, it's $60 a lick. You'd be like, oh, fuck it. I'm waiting for that shit to go to Game Pass.
Exactly.
Game Pass, yeah.
Exactly. I'd be like, excuse me, have you been anywhere near Microsoft? Yes? All right, fuck it. I'll wait till you get a Game Pass.
Yeah, do you own a PC? I'm supposed to be free.
Like I said, anybody who puts a toe on Microsoft's lawn, you know it's going to end up in Game Pass, because Game Pass is going to be Phil Spencer sitting up in the window with a sniper rifle, and he's like, oh, there's the toe. Pew! Gotcha, bitch. Now you're in Game Pass. Okay, that's how it works. So anyways, I love Star Wars, but you know what? I got to go with Noof on this one. If it came out on any other VR system, like for example, like the Oculus Quest or something, which I do own, my God, I'd be playing Star Wars VR. Okay, that would be absolutely fucking incredible. I don't know how they locked it down to just PS4. So do the other VR headsets, like the Vive or any of those other ones, the HT, the PC headsets, VR headsets, did they get it? Or is it just PS4?
I'm not sure. I think it's just PS4 at this point.
Oh, what a bunch of bullshit! Look at Medal of Honor. We talked about this a month ago. Medal of Honor VR that comes out in December, and it's coming out on almost every VR headset. The PS4 headset, it's coming out in the Oculus Quest. I'm getting it for the Oculus Quest. All right, because I have one. So,
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Why the hell can't they put Star Wars everywhere? What's the problem? EA doesn't talk to Facebook? Like, what is this? So, anyways, I'm kind of pissed off about that because that would be an incredible experience. Imagine
there you
that.
go. Paul says PC VR is coming soon.
Oh, coming soon. So you never know. It might actually come to the Quest.
Maybe they just went with that lowest common denominator first because the PSVR has pretty good attach rate and stuff. So who knows?
Right. Well, I would buy it for the Oculus Quest full price if it comes out for that. And I got a really, really good headset, by the way, because I know it comes with it has the it's completely wireless, right? But it actually has a sound system built into the sides of the headband,
right?
And it kind of blasts into your ear, right? But it's not immersive enough. So what I did is I got another headset that I plugged directly in on a very short cable, and I just put them on top of the headset. And holy shit, are you in there?
Nice.
Like, oh my god, the sound is incredible. So imagine like doing that and flying around and shooting Boba Fett and fucking Chewbacca and going nuts. I would absolutely adore it. So I'll wait and see where it comes. Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything?
Chuck, you picking it up, avoiding it like the plague? How about you?
I mean, I should avoid it because, to be honest with you, when I seen it, I was like, not. It looked like a small version of a big part of a game. Like just it shouldn't have did that. But that Star Wars, Fallen Jedi. That game was so good. It was like, but it was small. It was short. I would have preferred if they would have gave me DLC for that game, like a big expansion for that game. Then for them to come out with this. Don't get me wrong, the VR experience. I was a person I would not put that on my head. You couldn't put a VR headset on me. We was gonna fight. We was gonna rumble before you blind me into the. that on my head. But I went on a vacation trip with my mama and stuff like that. And then we went to this gaming hall, and it was a bunch of kids and stuff. And I'm there with the kids, and so I'm like, they grabbed it. I put the helmet on, and we getting there shooting each other. And I was like, this VR headset is actually kind of cool, but I wouldn't want to have it at my house. But if I'm comfortable,
you take the headset off, your couch is gone.
Sounds like Chuck's afraid to put it on. He wakes up and everything's fucking stolen and shit.
Yeah.
The controllers in my hand be gone. I'm like, man, everything be gone.
My pants are gone. Dude, what the fuck?
Oh man.
It's
got no more controllers and just standing there.
As people might do some YouTube pranks on you. Headphones says something recording you looking crazy. It's always something.
There's some downsides to VR, that's for sure. Especially if you can't trust the people around you in a household, that's for sure. Jesus.
Right? They'll be ready too.
Yeah, awesome. Squirrely, you pick this one up, man? You gonna try it out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the way things are going right now, I'm pretty content with Game Pass for the most part. And anything that I really want to pick up, I'll end up picking it up. But on VR, I'd like to try it on that. It'd be nice if Microsoft did a VR fucking thing. This gen would be nice.
Dude, I can tell you when I played, that was the thing that really sold me on PSVR is when I played the original Star Wars Battlefront and it had the Star Wars VR mission in it. Holy fuck, dude. Like that was like, man, I'm in you're not just playing a game, like you feel like you're literally in it. And it's the one thing that I keep telling people, like when you're playing a game on your regular screen, it looks like a game. But when you're in VR and you see the massive, like a Star Destroyer, you know how big they kind of look when you're in the movie screen. Well, when you're playing it, the damn thing legitimately looks like the size of a fucking planet. It's huge going over your head. Like the first time you see that in the Battlefront VR, I'm sold. You're in the cockpit of an X-Wing. It's as close to going to an amusement park and jumping in there yourself. And the fact that you got the full, like when your head turns, you don't have to turn your controller. You're just turning your head to look out the windows and you see these asteroids coming at you that legitimately look like asteroids, not just little, on your TV screen, they look about 10 inches big. No, they legitimately look like they're 20 or 40 feet big when you're playing a VR. And that's the one thing people don't get when they're just saying, man.
I was going to say, you got me excited. I've never played a VR game yet.
Oh, dude.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna just stop over at your place and fucking try it out.
Oh, I don't have my PSVR
That's it. I'm coming
anymore.
over. Newfonomics. Sorry, Newfonomics.
Yes.
Fucking.
I played Vader
unfortunately,
Immortal.
my PSVR turned into a fucking Switch. What a bad move that was.
For the third
Oh,
time.
boy.
Oh, Squirrely.
I get motion sickness, and for all the people that's gamers that get motion sickness, when you put on a VR headset, that was one of the things that was a concern of mine, that I didn't want to put it on my head, and then all of a sudden I'm walking around getting very nauseous. You don't have motion sickness that bad, because what you're seeing is like almost like you seeing what you're seeing in the real world. Because when you move your head, your peripheral, they have that all the way covered. So what you're seeing in this game, you actually in the game. So you motion sickness of that chugging,
So as long as the frame rate's good, I heard like you're pretty decent.
Yeah. And with PSVR especially, it's the lower resolution screens that they have inside that also, because it plays with your eyes. It's almost like when you're watching certain games in PSVR, you're almost feeling like, is my eyesight fucking getting bad, because everything's a little bit off, a little bit blurry, and you have to calibrate this headset to be just right too. Like if the angle of your eyes is a bit off, like, stuff don't kind of look right. Do you know what I mean? So there's limitations with that hardware. Obviously, that's why I'm really excited, and I might just wait to see if they come out with PS5, because if they are planning to build a new VR, then I would like to see how much lighter, how much more efficient, because we're already seeing that with stuff like the Oculus Quest. The tethering of the lines and stuff with PSVR is kind of annoying too. You got all these fucking things hooked up to your PlayStation and shit like that. So yeah, but yeah, Ponxo, have a great night, man. And Jago Cougar is in the house. What's going on, brother? Yeah, racing games are really cool in VR too. Like I play that. I mean, people shit on Drive Club, but Drive Club VR was fucking impressive. Oh my god! Like you're sitting right down in the fucking cockpit of these Ferraris, man, and like it's really like you're looking out the windows. You're actually looking at the mirrors now instead of watching a little graphic in the corner. You're actually looking in your mirrors. And that's how you gauge it. You know what I mean? There's a lot less HUDs and stuff, because you are the fucking HUD now. You look at your actual speedometers on your fucking car, not a little graphic in the corner that tells you doing 60. You're looking at your car now, like you would a real car.
Yeah. See, I would love to do that, like VR racing while sitting in my driving rig would be fucking phenomenal. I think.
Oh my god, brother!
I just don't have that, so
yep.
Maybe one day.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, like I said, I've played a bit of the game. I think Star Wars Squadrons is awesome. I say, if you're a Star Wars fan, you've always liked the flight stuff, I definitely think you should at least try it out. There you go. Jago says Squadrons in VR is fucking phenomenal, which I figured it would be. It almost feels like it was designed with VR in mind, because they used some of the same aspects and different things as they did for that Battlefront thing a while back. So, yeah, well, you got it too, Free Jack, because if you do, brother, let's hook up and play that like ASAP, bro. So let me know. But yeah, I'm hearing good things about it. Pick it up if you got it, and go for it, man. Awesome stuff. Yeah, imagine a flight sim in VR. That'd be nuts. Anyway, before we get out of here, let's get into our last segment of the night with the middle-aged game guy. It is your turn, sir. Take it away.
Live from Studio 69 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to Name That Game. And here is your host, Tony Baloney. Oh, it's Tony Baloney here. Tony Baloney has just arrived. Holy shit. We got a great crowd tonight. We have a great... Turn off the music. Turn off that damn music already. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Oh, my God. We got Squirrely Dan here. We got Triple Cut Chop here. We have Noof Nukem here. And we have a great chat. I see 50 likes in the thing and no thumbs down. That's unbelievable for a great night. Anyways, let's get serious. Welcome to Name That Game. I am your host, of course, Tony Baloney, and the rules are very simple. I will describe a game very, very badly from any generation, and you simply must name that game. Anyone on the first question can chime in. That includes the panel. But the real challenge is this. The second question, which is the real question, is only for the chat, and you must simply name that game. And whoever gets the most right over the next 10-week period wins any game of your choice, standard edition, from me. That's right. I will buy it for you. So let's get right into it. So let's get right into our warm-up question. The warm-up question is this. Name that game. A bunch of assholes come out of the ground. So let's grunt our way to victory. Name that game.
Because your assholes come out of your heart.
It's probably Gears.
Oh, who said that? Was that Squirrely
Gears of
Dan?
War.
That's
Yeah.
right. Squirrely Dan is absolutely correct.
Wow.
Oh, and that was lucky because he got that before Emmanuel A1. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, it was, in fact, Gears of War. Bunch of assholes come out of the ground. So
As soon
let's
as you said
grunt
assholes
away
come
for
out of the
victory.
ground, I knew it. I just wasn't sure if I could say anything right away.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
All right, this was just
you-
for the chat, guys.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ, Doctor. Worms? What kind of an asshole are you? Ay. Anyways, this is for the chat only, okay? And this is the one that actually counts. By the way, we are in week 7. Week 7 of 10. Chat, name that game. I'm basically a giant penis in a suit with a ray gun. Name that game.
Oh, fuck. I know that one.
I'll try it again. I'm basically a giant penis in a suit with a ray gun. Name that game. Holy shit, it was Infinite. He's absolutely incorrect. He's absolutely correct. It was Earthworm Jim. It was Earthworm Jim. I actually thought that was a fucking hard one. Holy Jesus.
Dude, as soon as you said penis in a suit with a ray gun.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
So,
That's great.
So that was Infinite got that one. And actually, Infinite is now got 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 blah. So now we still have, after 7 weeks, we have Dreadpool and Emmanuel A1 both have 2 each. Emmanuel A1, you were very close, buddy. They both have 2 each. Ronin Samurai 47 has 1. Joe Danmore has 1. And who's this guy? Sandro Saint Fleur. I haven't seen his name in the chat tonight. Sounds like a fraud to me. So we better call him back. And now, of course, we've got Infinite has 1 as well. So this is week 7. So stay in tune next week for another edition of Name That Game.
Nice.
Woo! Thank you, Tony Baloney. Holy shit. Wow, that guy's got a lot of energy.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Okay, so now we've got Infinite has got 1 there.
That's
So
fucking interesting. God damn.
it is getting interesting, but you know it's really interesting. If Emmanuel A1 got that right on the second one, he would have pulled ahead of Dreadpool right there. So
Yep.
yeah,
Listen, if I wasn't on the podcast tonight, I'd be up 1-2 right now.
yeah. And you know what? Like they said, the guys in first place only have 2 points, so it's not
Oh,
like it's
God.
going to be difficult to like pull ahead. You get it. You get a couple right, you're in.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then like I said, any game of your choice, I will buy it for you.
That's pretty cool, guys.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's pretty cool.
That was Name That Game with Tony Baloney. It'll be back here same time, same place next week. Like I said, if you're in that running, you got some points, guys. It's worth showing up because you can be scoring yourself a game. And remember, because it's so close right now, 3 weeks left in Meg? Right?
There are 3 weeks left.
So essentially, if you show up the next 3 weeks and you get them all fucking right, you could literally be the winner. Be like a big comeback kind of deal.
And you don't have to wait for Game Pass. I'll buy it for you.
How about that? Nice shit. There you go. All righty.
That's
I
funny.
didn't see no Timothy Dixon asked if his message were not showing.
No, I got a bunch of Earthworm Jims, but it was yeah.
Who was the first one? It was
The
it
first-
was
no, the
Infinite.
first-
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah, no.
doctor. Right after the doctor, he says, "Ha ha!" It was Infinite Earthworm that was
Infinite,
crazy.
then Crazy Greek,
You
dude,
were
then
third.
Timothy Dixon. Yeah, Timothy Dixon
You
was
were
third. Yeah.
third.
Yeah.
Third.
Tough luck, Timothy Dixon. Come back next week. Okay, Tony Baloney, go back to your room. Go back to your room. Yes.
All right. So we're going to get out of here, guys. This was another phenomenal show. A huge shout out to the chat, guys. I hope I gave everybody some love tonight because you guys deserve it. We had just over 50, I think, at one point, which is phenomenal. Let's get that number up there, guys. There's no reason this podcast can't be hitting at least 100 solid. So tell all your friends, your family, your grandmas, where the fuck you got going, man. Get them out here. It ain't that late. Fuck, most of you guys stay up till fucking 4 or 5 o'clock playing video games, so you can stay up for this podcast, right?
Mhm.
So there you go. But anyway, let's get our guests out of here. It's probably late in their neck of the woods, and we will start with the amazing Triple Cup. Chuck, where can people find your content, brother?
Man, I'm up. Man, I was saying about I just finished watching that Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm about to do a rewatch video about. I'm gonna break down everything on it, and then you gonna find me at Triple Cup Chuck Synergy, and y'all gonna find that I talk about everything, anything, gaming, movies, DC, Marvel, comic books. After this over with, I'm gonna leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you can just hit on my thing to go to there and rock out with me, rock out with Noof. I'm gonna bring Noof on to the channel, and and we're gonna bring into the Noof world, everybody into the mind of Noof, what he think about Marvel and DC. We're gonna get all the way down to the nitty gritty. So man, everybody on the panel, man, I had a good time, man. It's professional. I like the skits and everything, and y'all really put together a great show with great content and keep it, you know what I'm saying, the paving of different things going on. I like the way y'all do y'all thing.
Yeah, we didn't even have Titan tonight either, so there you go. He's a big part of the show. We hope to have him back next week. All right, so there you go, guys. Make sure you give Triple Cup Chuck a follow. Go check out his content. Like I said, he talks about almost everything, and he does it the only way that Triple Chuck can do it. So go check it out. He is always up. And in case you were wondering, or maybe if you kind of see his name and think, well, where have we heard him before, guys? Well, he is the man behind the music that you would have heard on MNC Mornings with the MNC Morning Show. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's the man that made the jingle. That's right, Chuck?
Yeah, me and Livewire.
There you go.
Yep.
And Livewire. Yeah, I haven't seen that guy in a long time. All right, so and let's get to Squirrely Dan, my Canadian brother from the NWT. Baby, what's happening, man? Let people know where they can check you out. I know, like I said, you're probably not rolling to YouTube as much, but people should definitely give you a follow because you're well articulated and a lot of fun, man. So glad you could be here with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Noof. I mean, as far as anything goes, I don't really do the social media and everything very big, but I mean, you could probably find me on, I want to say Twitter. I'm probably down there at as Squirrely Dan 82.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what my Twitter handle is. I mean, I really got to get up on this stuff. Like I said, like this is only my second podcast with you, Noof, and it's fun. So maybe I'll start getting that shit sorted out. And
hey, brother, it gets easier. It gets easier. Trust me. So glad you can.
Yeah,
be,
I just enjoy when you can send me an invite. Yeah, you send me an invite. I'll just pop on and shoot the shit for a little bit. I don't really have much, but if you follow Noof, you can find me probably, unless you block me. That happens. But you should be able to find me if you follow Noof. Give me a follow.
There you go. Let's go hit him
I
up.
try to keep it 100.
And hopefully maybe I'll get to meet you on the weekend or sometime next week, man. We'll
get together because Thanksgiving's coming up and I ain't got shit to do. So
maybe I can get free Jack and we can all go out for a brewski or something.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll hit you up for real. I'll be down there on Saturday. So
yeah. All right, and let's get over to my amazing co-host, middle-aged game guy, or better known as the Mag. Brother, where can people find you? Because I know you're getting busier by the minute.
Yes, I certainly am. You can follow me on Twitter at the middle-aged game guy. That's with a GY at the end. You can also follow me on the Xbox side of things. It is all capitals, one word, Dead Meat 1, but it's spelled DEDMEAT1. On the PlayStation side, you could follow me all one word, all capitals, because I don't know how to be quiet. I am the Mag with 2 G's. And of course, you can find me here every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Noof Nukem, Titan Drago, and a guest on Gaming After Dark. And you can catch me every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with, of course, none other than Mr. Boomstick XL and friends on Primetime Gaming. And yes, thank you guys very much for the show. Triple Cup Chuck, Squirrely Dan, Noof Nukem, chat. You guys are incredible as always. We'll see you guys all next week. Everybody have a great week. Have a great night. And we'll talk to you soon.
Peace out, guys. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Keep your sticks on the ice.
Shout out to the chat.